Moments away from kickoff in the 2018 Brahma Bowl season. It's Pierce Football on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Jeff Stoynoff and the entire SoCal College Sports team here for you. We will have kickoff for you in just a few minutes. Stay tuned for Pierce Football. Sports team here for you. We will have kickoff for you in just a few minutes. Stay tuned for Pierce Football. And we welcome you back to John Shepherd Stadium on the campus of L.A. Pierce College for Brahma Bowl football here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. So happy to begin our coverage here of the Brahmas this season. Thrilled to be here. I am Jeff Stoynoff, joined by Daniel Martindale. And Daniel, thanks so much for sitting in. Great pleasure to have you here. And two teams, I think we talked a little bit about it as we were getting ready to come on the air here. Teams sort of ascending a little bit. Both teams improving to 500 records last season, looking to continue that and go in the positive direction.
Absolutely. First of all, thank you so much. We're happy to be here. Both teams last season 5-5 records. You know, they broke even, but that's not where they want to be. Both missed the playoffs, and we start out with an interdivisional matchup here, and both teams finished third in their conference, and they're trying to improve upon that tonight. So clean slate, 0-0, and
and an incredibly clean slate for Carlos Woods, who takes over in his first season with Pierce College as the brand new head coach here.
Super Bowl champion coach with a Super Bowl ring with the Indianapolis Colts as a defensive assistant in 2006, 2 conference championships.
Might be having audio difficulties here. Hold on 1 second, okay? I'm not kidding. I am sorry about that, Daniel. Some early season hiccups here, but just wanted to make sure that we were getting you there as we talked about Carlos Woods taking over, and obviously the incredible pedigree here coming in to his first season here, and obviously you got to manage some expectations, I imagine, from Pierce. It's hard not to get excited.
Oh, absolutely, Jeff. And just going down the line on the resume for Carlos Woods, he's a Super Bowl champion coach, which we don't often see in the SCFA. Has a Super Bowl ring from 2006 as a defensive assistant with the Indianapolis Colts. Coach Peyton Manning and all those championship players, 2 conference championships with the Colts, 3 division champions. 4 of the players he's coached in college and high school levels have become NFL draft picks, and he's also coached 5 Pro Bowl players. Before this was in Eastern Michigan, and he was also an assistant for the Cincinnati Bengals in 2009. Very impressive pedigree, absolutely, for Coach Woods.
We're getting ready for opening kickoff, and let's bring in the third member of our team, Ryan Wilmar. And Ryan, thanks so much for joining us. And as get us set here for opening kickoff, it's Holloway back deep with Cates. Cates was one of the guys that Woods talked about in our conversation this week as a do-it-all guy. He's going to start at tailback as well, but it's Holloway who'll take it from the 5. He's out to the 20, sidesteps a tackler, but he's hit and dropped at the 22. They'll give him the 23, and that's where the Brahmas will take over for their first possession.
It's right, too, about the 20, but always nice to start the season off with a return and feel what it's like to hit and be hit and get right back into the swing of things.
Yeah, got to get those jitters out early, and it's always nice to get open on the kickoff. Don't have to worry about burning it down, being nervous.
Well, interesting, in our talking with coaches, one of the things they talked about is in the camp drills as they go through, you don't do a lot of practicing of kickoff and full coverage. So this is truly a dress rehearsal here in week number 1. That might have been the first kick coverage that these teams actually did.
Exactly, and getting 60 yards of a build-up running downfield to hit someone, it's a scary feeling.
It's a little different feeling. They'll start at the 24, but there is a flag on the field, so they're going to mark off a penalty against Pierce, and that'll back it up all the way back to the 12-yard line, so half the distance, and they'll start from the 12, 1st and 10.
Fans of Pierce might notice that it is not Jonathan Saavedra under center for the Brahmas.
Take the ball back to the 11-yard line.
Who did not start last season, just and we were told by a player up there in the booth that his passing scheme fits better against this Mount San Jacinto defense.
1st and 10 at the 12-yard line.
So Quan Coleman, the freshman, man in motion, takes the snap, straight drop. They're setting up the screen, and they've got it. But it's going to be a loss on the play back inside the 10, a 3-yard loss looking for Johnson. And Johnson never really had a chance on that play as he was swallowed up for a loss of 3.
Oftentimes you'll throw your running back as a safety valve, and that's why you design play to open up, get some safe yards to open up.
Yeah, you always want, especially with a freshman quarterback, you want to build his confidence early, high percentage pass. May have gone for a loss, but at least he's got the ball in the receiver's hands.
So it's Peterson, flanked by Cates. 4 wide receivers on 2nd and 13. They try the counter with Cates, and he weaves his way forward for a couple, back to the original line of scrimmage. And a 3rd and long coming up.
Tough call for Coach Woods under his tenure.
So they'll give him a couple of yards on the play. Call it 3rd and 11. Pierce with some options on the outside, some danger on the outside. Sherrod Joe, a player who received numerous offers to 4-year schools out of high school, but nonetheless ended up here at Pierce to start his college career. And he was a guy who caught Coach Wood's eye. Keep an eye on him, but instead they're going back to Johnson. He was open, but the pass overthrown, and a quick 3-and-out, and Mount San Jacinto gets off the field.
Yeah, they ran the rub routes there against man coverage, got an opening, but quarterback didn't fit the ball, and he had the safety coming over the top who didn't see the ball. I mean, he could have probably picked that had he been watching the quarterback. But
yeah, Franklin Shearer was zoning in on Johnson. Maybe that's a good thing for the Brahmas.
Mount San Jacinto's defense, you can't really start a season much better than that, force a 3-and-out.
Yep, and they should get good field position out of it, as this punt will come from the 11.
It'll be interesting to see if they bring anyone here this close to the end zone.
Player getting onto the field for Pierce, and here come the whistles.
And that's another thing to expect early in the season is a lot of flags. I mean, these guys in practice, you don't get the same look as a game, and it's easy to hold. In this case, let too much time tick off the clock, get a delay a game.
Well, Ryan, since spring practice, you're so used to playing each other. You're your own opponent, you're competing against each other, now you're competing against another team. It's a little bit different, some jitters at the beginning here.
High snap, but they've got it, and they just get this one away, and it's a shank.
And that may not make it out of the end zone.
Off the side of the foot, and it's inside the 15. Yeah, from our angle. It looked like it might be worse than that, but obviously a very shaky start for the Brahmas, particularly on special teams. You get a penalty on the return. That sets them back, and now the short punt, to say the least, will set things up at the 10-yard line for Mount San Jacinto. So how's that for your first trip into the red zone on the season? You haven't even run an offensive play, and you're in the red zone.
I think if you're the Eagles here, you don't play around. You try to score in the very first play.
Samaj Wren in the backfield. Brett Virgil, the quarterback for the Eagles, and what an opportunity here. Phillips in motion. They go to Wren, or it's Virgil on the keeper, bounces it outside, and he is going to go in for the touchdown.
Like I said, you can't mess around first play.
Well, it's a well-disguised play with the fake to Wren.
Yep. They ran the option there, and it looked like either the quarterback or the running back could have had the end zone there, and quarterback heaves. No, but tough job to ask your defense to step up there, and can't expect much more than that.
Well, one of the interesting things that we ran across, we talked to Casey Mazzotta, the head coach for Mount San Jacinto, asked him a little bit about what he expects to see from Pearson. He was quite candid. I'm not really sure. They didn't run a scrimmage last week, so he didn't really have a lot to go on in terms of getting ready. But so far, it's not really hurting him. But you have to wonder also early on here, Ryan, is that maybe hurting Pierce a little bit out of the gate? Certainly a little bit shaky to start.
Yeah, I mean, of course, other team getting film on you, that'll give them a little bit of a leg up. But the experience you get from scrimmaging, it's invaluable. And I think early on we're going to see that affect Pierce.
Well, we have a moment here, something a little rare in interdivisional play. These two teams did play last season on September 23rd. Pierce won 49-21 right here at home. It was a 14-14 tie after the first, and Pierce's offense exploded for 3 touchdowns, leading
Once again,
ended up winning 49-21. Jonathan Sabanger, who was not under center to start out tonight.
And number 33, Darren Holloway.
On completions, he threw for 166 yards. And if he gets in this time, they'll definitely San Jacinto have a big task to try to stop him.
Yeah, Daniel, I see in your keys to the game, keys to victory, you got who can strike first and set the tone.
Well, you know what? It already happened, right?
Yeah, you think Mount Jacinto did that there?
We have had a first strike.
I think that first big punch was already thrown for a knockout.
Holloway with a big return into the open field. He's at midfield, slips a tackle, and he's brought down at the 45.
Man, I thought he was going to break free on that one.
So
He had some open field.
the Eagles set the tone, and the Brahmas strike right back.
47-yard, which will make it the 45-yard line.
So good field position as we watch the replay here.
Well, Jeff, not as good as starting at the 11, but still Still very generous field position.
So a 47-yard return gives the Brahmas very good field position. Peterson back at the controls. They'll spread it out with 4 wide receivers, and this is the look that we should expect to see from Pierce, not just tonight, but all season. Johnson in motion. Snap to Peterson, back to Johnson, has the catch, slips a man. He's forward to about the 40, falls forward to the 39. Well, they don't give him a very good spot there. They spotted at the 40. They're not going to give him credit for the fall forward. But 5 yards and a 2nd and 5 coming up. Talked about Sherrod Joe in the slot at the top of your screen. Javon Elliott split out wide to the left. Christian Graves solo to the right. Under pressure. And now Peterson just has to heave it out of play. And a 3rd and 5 coming up.
Ball remains at the 40-yard line.
There you see Mount San Jacinto able to generate some pressure there without bringing the blitz, and what a luxury that is defensively.
3rd and 5, always that down where you can, go either way, pass or run. We'll be interested to see if we get our first run look here from Pierce.
Yeah. Cates replaced in the backfield now. I believe it's Doma Morris. No, it is Cates still in there. Okay. He turned profile for me. That always helps. Give me a look at that jersey number, though. Empty the backfield on 3rd and 5. Peterson against the 2-man front. Good protection, rolling right, still looking, dumps it short, completes the pass to Graves, who falls out of bounds right near the first down marker. It's going to come down to the spot.
Oh, and that's going to be – they're going to give it to him. Right on the line.
Maybe good to be playing at home as we take a look at the replay.
Graves knew exactly where he needed to be to get that first down, and he made it count.
Got to go with the safe play, especially when you're down 7 early. Got to just try to get yards. Don't go for the big home run yet. We got a shotgun. Got someone in the backfield again.
Counter. Cates lowers the shoulder. He's down to the 35 yards.
30-yard line, a 5-yard gain for the Brahmas.
As we see more running plays, something to think about definitely is the conditioning. All season. It's cooled down significantly here past 6 o'clock, but Woodman Hill's one of the hottest parts of the San Fernando Valley, plus a turf field adding about 10 degrees. We'll see which team can stay in shape for all 4 quarters, and can stay as much energy as they have in the first.
Yeah, thankfully, perhaps for these teams, the sun going down.
It's always nice when you schedule a night game in early September.
Oh, and the trick play here, they got a lot of
Johnson with running room. He's inside the 20, tripped up at about the 15-yard line.
Yeah, they took the over pursuit of Mount San Jacinto and turned it against them, flipped it, went the other way on the reverse, and they're going to set up on the 15.
1st and 10.
A whole lot of offense today so far.
I'm not going to complain about that.
Absolutely not.
You're not a former offensive guy, sure.
So right
we got to balance things out here. I guess that's it's going to make you the defensive guy here.
I guess I might
Daniel,
have to be today.
By necessity.
Oh, there you go, Daniel. There's a nice.
There it is, right on cue.
Yeah, Cates runs into a wall. Might have gotten a yard on the play.
Might have went to the well one too many times there with Cates. Might have started to figure out his tendencies running. Plus about 3 straight runs to the left with Cates.
So about a half a yard and a 2nd down and 10 coming up. 10-15 and counting to go here in the opening quarter, just underway. And it's the Eagles of Mount San Jacinto with the early 7-0 lead. Peterson looks over the defense, receivers left and right. Here comes the blitz. Straight drop, steps up, guns it on the near side, incomplete. Off the hands of Sherrod Joe.
Number 15, Sherrod Joe.
Sherrod Joe from Kings Fork in Suffolk, Virginia. A lot of Pierce players, incoming freshmen this season from Virginia, some from Florida, and a lot from right here in the San Fernando Valley. Ryan and I were talking earlier about how interesting it is that local rivals in high school become teammates at the junior college level in the SCFA. We have a lot of guys from Birmingham, Chatsworth, Cleveland. All of a sudden, rivals see each other once a year. Now they're teammates.
3rd down and 10. For the Brahmas.
On the
Another
near
blitz
side.
coming. Good protection. The throw into the end zone, a man open and incomplete. Looking for Johnson again, and that time Johnson was well in the clear, but Peterson overshot him.
Yeah, busted coverage there from the safety. I don't know what he was looking for, but man, Pierce misses a golden opportunity there.
Looked like Naranjo trying to recover, but Johnson was all alone, and a bullet dodged, and a field goal attempt.
4th down. I had the opportunity to attend practice on Wednesday. The kicking game was an issue for Pierce, so this will be big if they can nail that first one of the season through.
It looks like Eric Castro will attempt this one from the left hash. It's a 32-yard attempt. Snap, placement down, kick is up.
Kick.
And it's good. So Castro puts it through. The Pierce Brahmas go 33 yards, but settle for 3. It's 7-3, 9:45 to go in the first. You're watching Pierce College football on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Pierce Brahmas go 33 yards, but settle for 3. It's 7-3, 9:45 to go in the first. You're watching Pierce College football on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Brahmas set to kick off, 7-3. Mount San Jacinto with the early lead. Short kick,
very short,
taken at the 18, out to the 30, and pulled down there. Samaj Ren on the return of 13 yards. They'll start at the 31, will the Eagles, and it's interesting to see from these two teams that both starting running backs, also the kick returners for these teams, so some versatility in the backfield.
And you got to go with the best runner. You got to go with the hot feet. You'll worry a little bit about having too much of a workload on a running back, but if you can get that good field position as we just saw in Pierce's last drive, then you got to go for it.
So second drive of the night for the Eagles. Straight drop, Virgil. Now he rolls out all kinds of time, guns it on the near side, and completes it out near midfield. Phillips with the reception. James Phillips out to the 49-yard line. Waiting for the spot to see. No, an open spot at the 50. So Phillips out to midfield. Quick first down, and the Eagles quickly on the move. Wren remains in the backfield. 3 wide receivers.
Seen that look a lot today.
Virgil juggling the snap. It's a broken play now. Now he's just running for his life on the far side. Krasnowski giving chase, and he finally chases him out of bounds. A yard or two shy.
Yeah, might have been a little bit of unnecessary push into the Mount San Jacinto sideline.
Don't know if we had a shot of that, Emery, but it was Krasnowski giving chase, the middle linebacker, and he was on the heels.
Yeah, Virgil was about 5 yards out of bounds before he got pushed into the bench there.
Well, always better to get pushed into your own bench. The guy's there to catch you. Yeah. Might have not been the same if you fell into the red jerseys.
It's going to be a costly penalty nonetheless for the Brahmas, the second penalty on Pierce here in the first quarter. The personal foul goes for 15 yards. It's down to the 37-yard line.
That's going to take the ball all the way to the Brahma 37-yard line.
Once again, Pierce with their backs up against the wall on defense here. Not where you want to start out. Not much room to, not much give here.
Dual setbacks for Virgil now on 1st and 10. And he'll send a man in motion. They go to Wren. Again on the counter. Slips out of a tackle at the line, and he's got some running room. Inside the 30 down to the 26. That's good enough for another first down.
Seen a lot of outside running from both sides off tackle. Start off the game. Might not stay that way when different situations come up, 3rd and short, goal line plays, but for now they're bouncing it outside.
Well, they talked about Mazzotta. When I talked to Coach Mazzotta, talked about Samaj Wren, and he said a very fast runner, very upright runner, and I think that's a good scouting report, watching the way he runs, but he accelerates. There's no question about it. as he was able to pick up yardage
Same
there,
look.
12 yards. Quick screen out to the near side, and a loss on the play of a couple.
Good contained by Jamie Colon,
Jamie Colon coming up from his safety spot.
one of the captains for the Brahmas.
That was Corey Maddox, who will split time with Wren in the backfield. And he loses a couple. Back to the 28-yard line. Why? No. They gave him a couple of yards to the 23. Still getting my bearings here.
2nd and 8.
Second down.
For Pierce playing under 10 yards.
Boy, no options that time.
Good coverage. Virgil stepping
And he
up.
found it.
Now out in the flat to Wren, who's got the first down and more. Wren's inside the 10 and tripped up at the 5.
Well, you talk about making it work.
Yeah, safety's playing up. They look to take a shot over the top. They're good coverage downfield.
Well, Virgil is a freshman out of Menifee, California, but don't tell him that. That was kind of some very impressive poise on a play there where he's a lot of pressure, but able to keep his eyes downfield and find Wren for a big play down to the 5. Timeout on the field. Halfway through the first, 7-3. The Eagles with the lead and they're driving.
Your Pierce College Brahmas. First and goal to go.
First and goal for the Eagles at the 5. Wren in the backfield.
Be interested to see if they run the same play that they scored on the first time, about the same field position here.
Yep. They go a little bit bigger in the backfield with Cole Smith checking in at the H-back spot in an offset eye. Receivers left and right.
Checking in the game for the Brahmas.
And Virgil will work under center. Here on first and goal. They go to Wren, running left, has a little seam, and he's in for the touchdown. Well, that's great patience by Samaj Wren on that run. And we'll get a look at the replay there and talk a little bit about what you see here, Ryan.
The Eagles are just having their way with the Brahmas front line here. And that
extra point
wide
try
open
now
hole.
coming up.
I think you could have fit through that, Jeff.
Yes, but I only would have made it to the 4-yard line.
That's right.
And then I would have been, gently tackled and still been out for the game and the season.
Let's wait for the extra point attempt here.
And that's
Blocked.
blocked.
That's
a
a
live
free.
ball.
That's loose.
Can they pick it up? And they'll ultimately fall on it, so 13-3 will be the score.
No sense in falling on it there. You got to pick it up and take it back, get a couple points, because this gets you nothing.
Brahmas on the near sideline to us. We're working on a fumble drill earlier in pregame warm-ups, and that one just bobbled a little bit too much, but falling on it's better than losing it completely.
Nonetheless, 2 drives, 2 touchdowns for Mount San Jacinto here in the first quarter. And guys, as you've alluded to, they're having their way with this Pierce defense early on.
The Eagles averaged 25 points per game last season. That was second in the American Mountain Conference, and they're already more than halfway there, and we're less than halfway through the first quarter here. So improvement on the offense for sure.
Yeah, I think if you're looking for a concern here, I think in the first quarter, and that is in a couple of possessions that I've seen, I think both teams having a lot of difficulty getting any pressure on the quarterback. And I think these guys are starting to feast on that a little bit. Well, I think Virgil started out feasting on it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, if you give someone at this level that much time, they're going to find a way to beat you.
Virgil's had a few Mississippis to count to get the throw off, that's for sure, especially the play where he had no options on the pass option and then still found a way to make it work. So definitely might see more blitzes here coming up.
Well, it was Holloway with the big return last time, and they go right back to him. He'll take it at the 18. Out to the 30. Angles left.
Well, you see
takes a man miss. trying to get the corner, and he's just tripped up at about the 35. That was maybe about a 30-yard saving tackle on the far side. Nonetheless, the Brahmas will have solid field position at the 35.
I believe that was Alonzo Bell who tripped him up.
Brahmas will have it 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line.
Well, Peterson was decidedly better on the second possession. Ultimately, Pierce had to settle for 3 points. They trail at 13-3.
Saavedra back under center for the first time for a quarterback here for Pierce, first time.
Johnny Saavedra, indeed. Cates continues in the backfield. They overload the near side. Snap to Saavedra. Quick handoff to Cates, who's got room. He's at the 40, just tripped up short of the first down marker, a gain of 9.
Now that he's in, we can talk a little bit about Johnny Saavedra last season. Not too shabby. First team all-conference in the American Pacific. Passed for nearly 1,300 yards, 10 touchdowns, and also 10 interceptions. And he's out of Santa Clarita Christian High School in Santa Clarita.
2nd down and 1.
So a 2nd and 1 for Saavedra and the Brahma Bull offense. Four-man rush. Saavedra guns it out in the flat, and Johnson can't quite come up with it.
Yeah, it was a little high, but Johnson needs to be able to haul that one in. It's first down plus 7 more yards. Now it's 3rd and 1. It's going to be a tough call.
Yeah, Ryan, especially when there's no pressure on you relatively like that. You got to be able to have time to turn around and look that one in, even if it is a little high.
Well, they talk about Johnson being a guy with a big body, good body control in that slot position. I'm a little surprised that they're running a lot of short passes to him. He's not the speediest guy on the outside. Cates brought down at the line. The ball's on the ground. Let's see who got it. It looks like Pierce was able to fall on it.
Just based on body language, it looks like Pierce did recover.
4th down and about a yard.
Now he got another decision here.
Okay, now this is the first big decision of Coach Carlos Wood's tenure here.
And perhaps we're getting an early sign of the kind of coach he's going to be.
That aggressive NFL coaching style. Sneak.
And sneak. It's going to be tough.
Saavedra has stood up. Did he get something on second effort?
Boy, I don't think he got it, guys.
This
Pierce
is going to come down to the spot,
for it.
and Pierce is going to need a good one.
Need that hometown spot. And they got it.
Well, that is the second very good spot that we've seen for Pierce here in the first quarter, and they have needed every bit of that good fortune.
And they needed to go up about a nose in the ball, and I guess that's all it took.
And guys, let's take the more positive approach here and say great second effort by Saavedra, because he really disappeared into a pile, but his legs were still churning.
Yeah.
And clearly that second effort allowed him to fall forward and get that yard. So
it's all
great
about
effort.
That forward progress.
Saavedra, pressure coming. He's hit
He
hard,
took
but
a
he
shot.
jumps it to Cates. Cates stiff arms a man. He's into Eagle territory at about the 48.
Boy, Saavedra earned it on that one. Popped up right away, but first time he's got a lot of pressure on him and took the hit there, paid the price.
I think it was Galen McCoy coming off the edge, and he is one of the top pass rushers for the Eagles.
Yeah, shot out of a cannon on that one. Saavedra with some new weapons to have to throw to this season. Pierce has lost 5 first-team all-conference players. He's the only one that remains from last season.
2nd down and 4. Johnson in motion. Snap to Saavedra. They keep it on the ground. Morris on the carry, and a gain of about 2 will bring up a 3rd down and short.
Ball carrier was number 28, Doma Morris.
Ryan, being an offensive guy yourself, what do you think about Pierce taking the more safe approach here? Just trying to get the first downs little by little.
Well, hey, I was about to say, I see Graves down here. He's basically one-on-one with the corners. I mean, the safety's not going to be much help where he's positioned. And I was thinking even on 3rd down here, you may take a shot to him.
Let's see it.
Looking left instead, and whistles come in before the catch by Sherrod Joe.
Looks like a false
This is going
start.
to back up the Brahmas 5 yards.
Ref made the signal, didn't throw the flag, but
But it eventually comes out.
We got the whistle.
yeah.
4:15 to go in the first. 3rd and 2 becomes 3rd and 7.
A very eventful first, if I may add.
Well, it's been somewhat conservative play calling, I think, as Daniel was talking about. but not conservative in terms of risk going for it on 4th and 1 inside his own territory. So Carlos Woods has already made a statement.
Hey, if conservative gets you the results, stay conservative.
3rd and 7. Straight drop. Saavedra looking left. Fires, and it's high over the head of Sherrod. Joe Kelly had the coverage. Excuse me, that was Kelly Coleman on the coverage. So a 4th down and 7, and I suspect that as prone to risk as Carlos Woods might be, we're going to see the punting unit this time.
Yeah. Safe to say.
Yeah, the Lightning might not strike twice going for it on 4th in the same drive from the middle of the field, of course. It's risky enough to do that once.
Tuifia Sione on to punt. Good snap. Siafoni. Better contact on this one.
Good punt.
Toward the near side and no return, so a good job by Sione. And Mount San Jacinto will take over at their own 16-yard line with 3:44 remaining in the opening quarter.
And, of course, special teams helps your defense right after that. Pierce finally starting not with their backs up against the wall. They're finally not starting in their own territory having to defend with little space to do it.
But they're going to have to make a defensive stop here if they want to, turn the tide of this game.
Not just that, but for the momentum, to prove to your defense that they can do it.
Yeah.
I mean, you surrender 2 touchdowns to start the season. That's got to be a little crushing morally. Seeing that cover 2 look again from Pierce's defense. Saw that a lot in practice earlier this week.
Virgil steps out, airs it out. He's got a man, and it's incomplete. Michael Loudon,
fingertips.
The intended receiver, and he was 5 yards clear.
Man.
I was about to say so much for that good defensive field position because they almost took that and made him pay for it.
I'll tell you, more good protection for Brett Virgil. And that is what I can almost guarantee you he'd love to have back.
Oh, yeah. Just need a little more air under that. Or we'd be kicking a field goal. Or extra points.
Yeah, Michael Loudon would still be running.
Yeah.
2nd down and 10. Dual setbacks, and now they send Phillips in motion. Virgil on the quarterback draw. Out past the 20 to the 23-yard line, a gain of 7 and a 3rd and 3 upcoming.
Good awareness by Virgil there to know that he really had no options, and instead of waiting for them to be available, just took it himself. Got a good size legs, hard to bring down, so if he can run, he does it.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure that wasn't a design draw for Virgil, the way he ran that ball. And he had the 11-yard touchdown run, so he's obviously got good legs.
That's for sure. Had me faked out if it wasn't designed.
3rd down and 3 again. Phillips in motion out of the backfield. Virgil going to keep it again, working the right side, slips a tackle. He's got the 1st down before he's cut down at the 21-yard line. Should say the 31-yard line. 1st down yardage for Mount San Jacinto.
Good decision making there. They sent the back on the bubble. Virgil sees that it's not open, and immediately he's getting out of the pocket and looking for a 1st down. He hesitates a second there.
Brought down by number 29, Jack Jenkins, but a 1st down for the Eagles.
If you're Pierce, you got to think, well, at least we are just holding him to quarterback draws, considering how close they came to giving up a long bomb of a touchdown a few plays ago.
A fresh set of downs thanks to Virgil's feet. And it's 1st and 10 from the 31.
Great
Out
job.
in the flat. The
Great
catch is
rally
made
there.
by Phillips. King with the immediate hit.
Yeah,
A gain of maybe a yard.
Good recognition by King there. They're playing man, but he comes down and takes that out route. And without that, they're picking up 10, 15 yards.
Well, we saw it earlier with Jamie Colon and now Dimitri King. He's out there he's leading by example as a captain and, sophomore on the defense. You got to have your best players that you trust in big games. You got to have those be the ones making the tackles.
Samaj Wren in the backfield with Virgil on 2nd down. They'll call it 8 from the 34.
Oh,
Virgil thinking
it's
about
batted.
the pitch. Now it's loose. A battle for the ball, and it looks like Wren was able to get back and beat out a couple of Brahmas for that football back at the 24-yard line.
Well, you call any other play and you don't have him in the backfield, that might be to the house for Pierce.
We'll take a look at the replay quickly here, and you see this one in trouble right from the start.
Boy, it looked like a swat in basketball. He was rejected.
3rd and 17.
Very fortunate for San Jacinto to get back on that.
A 3rd and 17. Great penetration by that front 4. for Pierce, and they blow that play up nearly to the tune of a turnover.
See how aggressive a play call we go here. Their own territory, 17 yards to get.
4-man rush. Virgil with a straight drop, stepping up, has some time. Looking on the near side, finds
Oh, he might have
Loudon.
got it.
Wow.
Out near the first down marker.
And what a turn of events that was.
King.
Almost giving Pierce the ball in their own red zone. Now it's a first down after 3rd and long.
3rd and 17, and they get 18.
Man, just what you needed. Pierce's D had him dead to rights, and again, they just keep finding a way to make it work.
1st and 10 at the 42.
Little things like that make a difference. They go a long way. Difference between punting and keeping that drive alive.
Yeah, as I'll tell you, the story of this first quarter to me is Brett Virgil's feet. Once again, able to buy himself a little extra time, let that play develop before he finds Loudon for the 18-yard gain. In trouble
that
here,
time.
and he's going to be sacked. A loss of about 5, back to the 37-yard line. Krasnowski in on the sack.
Yeah, no outlet there for Virgil.
That front line from Pierce said, Jeff, what'd you say about that guy's feet?
Yeah. Well, sometimes feet can only do so much. It was Sione who actually got there first, and then Krasnowski, Yuri Krasnowski in on the sack as well. 2nd down and 15. Hey, listen, even John Elway got sacked sometimes.
It happens.
Down to 15 seconds. See if the Eagles are going to run one more play, and they will. Virgil under pressure again, rolling left.
Again, they're after him.
He's just going to have to eat it here. Picks his way forward for a gain of maybe a yard or two.
I don't know what Virgil was looking at on that play. To the near side of the field, he had a 4-on-1. And on the far side, though, it's 2-on-2. He had an open receiver, but trying to force the ball to the single receiver side, he had no chance.
Well, you know, put ourselves in his mindset. It was working on the ground for him. So, again, he might have went to that one too many times and just thought, it's picking up first downs with my feet, and not that time.
We're through one quarter. Mount San Jacinto with a 13-3 lead. You are watching Pierce College Football on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Start of the second quarter from Shepherd Stadium on the campus of Pierce College. Mount San Jacinto with a 13-3 lead over Pierce College.
Another tough task to answer here to start off the second quarter. 3rd and 14.
At their own 38-yard
Mount San Jacinto made it work.
Just picked up a 3rd and 17, absolutely. Daniel, a couple of plays ago, but they will face another stern challenge here from their own 37-yard line. Virgil has the snap, 4-man rush. Pop flies the near side. Phillips trying to run under it, and it's broken up, incomplete. Dimitri King was back there, and I think ultimately Phillips had to play defensive back there.
We got a late flag here. I think it may be on Pierce the way the Eagles are clapping.
Judging by the spot of that flag, might have been a late hit on Virgil.
No.
There's one in the
Virgil's
backfield.
on the sideline.
Oh, yeah. Flip the field here. My apologies.
No, it is in the backfield, but it was 2 linemen tangled up.
Oh, might have been some unnecessary roughness.
That's a 15-yard penalty.
It's a personal foul against the Brahmas. They did not get specific on what the call was, but that is a massive penalty on a 3rd and 14. The Brahmas were off the field after the incompletion, but here they go. Back to work now with the ball resting on the Brahma 47-yard line, 1st and 10.
Boy, that was a Christmas gift in September for Mount San Jacinto from Pierce. They needed 14, got 15 on the personal foul. Got to have that discipline if you're Pierce.
You need to be more disciplined in these situations. You cannot win a game if you're gifting the other team first downs.
And to my memory, guys, we have to go unofficial here, but I don't think Mount San Jacinto's had a penalty on him just yet.
No, not yet.
Delayed handoff to Wren, but he is wrapped up and brought down. No gain on the play. Burton from his linebacker spot, moving up to make the stop on Wren.
So 2nd down and 9 coming up from Mount San Jacinto.
Well, the book on Jalen Burton, our conversation with Coach Woods, smart and fast, and obviously diagnosed that play very well. Got on top of Wren, and a good sure tackle, holding him to no gain.
Mount San Jacinto last season 4th out of 6 in their conference in overall rushing. Trying to improve upon that definitely so far.
Phillips in motion on a 2nd and 9 play. They fake the handoff to Wren, but Virgil picking his way forward, gained maybe a couple. And to me, I'm detecting a shift in intensity here, an upping of the intensity for the Brahmas. I think they're no longer waiting on Virgil, it looks like to me. They're really flying to the ball.
No. Firing off the ball a lot quicker. I think they're rallying quicker to where they are. I think they're not playing so far off a man. They're just going right for what they see. Which, if you're San Jacinto, you can take advantage of that, maybe lull them into sleep in some play action and try to throw deep.
Yeah, well, we just saw a very near miss on a deep pass to Loudon, who was definitely open. So there is risk. 3rd and 8. Straight drop for Virgil, rolling right. Away from Krasnowski. Throws on the near side, leaping catch made by Phillips at the 25-yard line.
Phillips saves the day again.
Yep.
James Phillips.
Yeah, it was a good rush, but the
all of 5'9".
Defensive ends, they shot too far upfield. They let Virgil escape the pocket here. If they stay in contain, let the interior line get up there, Virgil at least can't scramble.
Virgil, though, even when he's scrambling, looks very poised. Doesn't look like he's taken off and throwing into the sideline. He waits and sees that someone's open. We see him pointing his finger, directing traffic. Looks very under control for a freshman in his first college game.
Now it's Loudon in motion. Out to the far side, dual setbacks on 1st and 10. Phillips in motion. Quick screen out to Phillips.
He heard footsteps.
And I think he thought twice. And, I think that's part footsteps, but I think that's also part of smart play by Phillips there. I think he
slow to get up.
That play was going nowhere.
Slow to get up now.
Great play by Witcher there to read that, slip the block, and he was going to have nowhere to go even if he hung on to that.
Dante Witcher, and we have a shout out to Dante Witcher. Apologies, but reach out to SoCal College Sports and want to get to that. But Witcher asserting his presence there, and we do have a player down on the field. I believe it was Phillips.
It was Phillips.
Okay, so they're still looking at Phillips. We'll step aside very quickly and rejoin you. Pierce College Football on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Come on. 2nd down and 10. 13-3, the Eagles with the lead, and they're moving the football in Brahma territory.
Phillips was able to get up on his own power after that last.
Wren with a short drop, rainbows the far side, looking for Loudon, and it's incomplete. Woods with King on the coverage.
Yeah, a lot of jostling downfield there, but apparently not enough to draw the flag.
Inside the 40, we see Mount San Jacinto a little more willing to throw deep. Virgil finally starting to air it out a little bit, but so far he's shown that he's a multifaceted quarterback. He's been doing it on the ground, doing it in the air, and making the smart play too. I think even when the deeper ball's open, he's just going for the play that gets him the first down, as we've seen on a few big timely conversions so far.
Looking for the screen. Virgil in some trouble, scrambling. Now looking
End
deep
zone.
into the end zone, throws into double coverage. Sullivan, the intended target, and it's incomplete.
A little bit of contact in that back corner, but we have a flag.
Far sideline.
Flag right off the line of scrimmage.
Yeah,
on
somewhere
the
else,
far-
not where you'd
far
expect.
Sideline.
Might see, maybe where you see a hold if that was in the backfield.
It's
Okay,
an
over on the
interesting
far side there,
position,
near
yeah.
the 20-yard line.
I don't think it was offsides on the defense, but I didn't see much contact up there between defensive backs and receivers.
No signal. Yeah, it was a signal.
Against the
Offside.
Brahmas.
Another penalty on the Brahmas, so instead of 4th down, it will now be 3rd down and 5 from the 20. And how many chances can you give an offense working against you?
That's a lot of free yards from Pierce on this drive. Gift wrapped. Each one of those might be another gasser in practice.
Yeah, it better be.
3 wide receivers to the left. Wren on the sweep, but he's hit in the backfield. Just manages to fall forward and get back to the line. But good penetration again.
Just watching how Virgil operates, it's all the little things. He handed that off, but still he looked over to a wide open Phillips as if maybe he was going to throw to him, trying to maybe make the defense bite and over pursue.
It was Cordova that led the charge for the Brahmas. So a 4th down, and we'll see another field goal attempt.
38-yard field goal.
This will be our first look at Jonathan Diaz for Mount San Jacinto. Check me on that if you can, Daniel. I think you got a little better view. Is that Diaz?
That's
Cole
Vic,
Smith.
if it's 85, that is Victor Carbajal. It is.
It is Carbajal.
And he is
Low liner, and
just
it's
low.
wide left.
So finally a stop for Pierce. We'll see if their offense can, leapfrog from the success of the defense.
So Carbajal misfires from 37. 11:54 to go in the first half. And the lead remains 10 for Mount San Jacinto, 13-3.
It's got to be a big confidence booster there for Pierce after you give up 2 early touchdowns and you have a field to work with. Again, a lot to clean up with those big penalties, but they did, finally came away back on the sideline and not giving up any points. So it's all you can ask for from your defense. Hold them.
Yeah, Pierce finally catches a break there.
Looking down to my left, we see a lot of congratulations on Pierce's bench, so definitely echoing those sentiments. That first stop of the season after a whole summer of practicing, got to feel rewarding.
Doma Morris in the backfield. Saavedra guns it over the middle, incomplete. Looking for Sherrod Joe.
For number 15, Sherrod Joe.
Coleman had the coverage.
One thing about Saavedra, he got a great set of footwork there, getting the ball out quick. He has a way of finding who's open, locking eyes with them, and just fires it. Doesn't waste his time, especially when he's just standing there in the pocket.
2nd down and 10. 3 wide receivers to the right for Saavedra. 3-man rush. Saavedra rolling left, has some time, lobs. Graves with a sensational effort. He can't quite come down with a one-handed grab.
So close to a one-hander.
Roderick Ward had the coverage. It was very good coverage, but Graves.
He had it on his hip. He just couldn't bring it all the way up, and that hard turf field, the ground caused the well, not the fumble, but the ground caused it to get loose.
I believe we
Hate
got
to say,
the
but
replay here.
we got a holding anyway, so that would have been wiped off.
Just catching the tail
But
end. So the
great
holding
effort by
call.
Accepted. It'll remain 2nd down.
Well, for his sake, might have been better that wasn't caught, because it would have been pretty demoralizing to make a highlight reel catch and then have to come back anyway.
But hey, you can still use it for the highlight reel.
Absolutely, if he were to catch it. No one has to know that there was a flag. You can edit that out.
2nd down and 20 after they mark off the penalty.
Might be seeing blitz here. We do.
Here they come. Saavedra stepping up, but he just has to eat it and take the sack back at the 13-yard line.
2-yard loss on the
And
he had a loss.
He had a receiver standing all alone at the top of the, on the line of scrimmage, but wide open.
Some
Just
issues
couldn't see
there
him.
with the Brahmas offensive line. About the only one who really picked up that blitz was the halfback. And even then, he only got about halfway on the block.
Dalen McCoy, the first to get there. And the 3rd and 22 coming up, and now it's the Brahmas who need to come up with something big on 3rd and long.
It's the biggest deficit of yards they've had to overcome so far.
Saavedra,
More pressure.
with pressure in his face, completes it on the far side. Out
Great
past
tackle.
the 15 to the 18-yard line. Ferguson with the reception, but he's well short of the first down, so with the punting unit coming on for the Brahmas.
There's Roderick Ward with the tackle, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm sure you got it.
First game, double checking.
You're a very thorough man. So the Eagles looking at good field position here. On the kick from Sione, and this one off the side of his foot. But it does take a Brahma bounce, a very good bounce,
did.
all the way into Eagle territory. This one will finally come to rest at the 40.
Yeah.
So that ends up being a 42-yard punt.
That one looked like it had batteries in it. It just kept rolling like it was a remote control football.
Not the prettiest thing to look at ever, but 42 yards with no return.
Pretty sure that traveled further on the ground than it did in the air. It's always what you can hope for as a punter.
And the long snapper, Michael Sandoval, he's coming off limping. If he can't continue, that may really change the game. If you can't long snap, you got some problems.
And Sandoval is not just the long snapper. He's the starting center.
Yes.
And really captains that offensive line. A guy that was mentioned by name by Coach Woods in our conversation as really being a linchpin on that offensive line. So
it will definitely have
it
to keep
only
an eye
gets
on
bigger, Ryan, I think, to your point. So keep an eye on Sandoval, number 64, in the subsequent possessions. Meanwhile, the Eagles start from their own 40. Virgil from the shotgun. Wren picking his way forward, spins out to the 44. A 4-yard gain, call it 5.
Time and again, we've been seeing Samaj Wren with those spin moves, buying himself a few extra yards. That's the difference between a 2nd and 5 and a 2nd and 8.
Just shy of 45. So 2nd down and 5 coming up from Mount San Jacinto.
Wren out of San Marcos High School in San Marcos, California.
2nd and 5. Receivers left and right. Phillips has returned. He's in motion. Virgil rolling right under pressure and just completes it to Wren, but he's not going to get back to the line. Yuri Krasnowski.
Might have been able to get a little more oomph on that throw, but just slipped on the turf on the way toward the sideline there, right about the 40-yard marker.
Well, his eyes was on Krasnowski.
That's for sure.
Closing in from his middle linebacker spot and flashing very good speed. But how about Virgil again? A very cool decision under pressure. Checks down and finds Wren. Loss of a yard on the play, but better than a loss of about 10.
Yeah, it's incredible the success he's had outside the pocket in high-pressure situations and even slipping there.
Well, it's the fact that each time we've seen this coming towards us, he's been chased down and doesn't even seem to faze him.
Whistles before the snap.
Official timeout on the field.
It's an official timeout.
A little bit of discussion going on between the side judge there and some of Pierce's coaches, maybe some confusion.
Reset the play clock to 25.
3rd down and 6.
Confusion in the defensive secondary for Pierce. Looks like they may have straightened it out.
Virgil with a straight drop. Blitz coming. Steps up.
Wide
lobs,
open. No.
Incomplete.
Incomplete.
Just overthrown. He was looking for Darrell Estem, the tight end, and Estem had slipped behind his man. But Virgil couldn't squeeze it in, and 4th down upcoming.
Back-to-back stops for Pierce now.
Virgil staying on the field here on 4th down.
Well, maybe a
What a
6
gutsy
from
call.
44.
Only a 10-point lead, only the 2nd quarter of game 1, and you trust your quarterback. A lot of trust on the
pooch
freshman.
punt here.
Oh,
It's
he
an
backed
empty
up.
backfield.
Quick kick.
And it'll be a
Quick
Brilliant.
kick
by Virgil.
from Virgil.
Virgil's punt
High
takes
kick,
a Eagles
and it
bounce.
takes an Eagle bounce
And
inside
will
the
be
20.
at the
They'll down it at the 19.
19-yard
Just when we thought he could do it all with his legs, he goes ahead and kicks with them.
kick by Virgil.
Well, I guess the story is still his feet.
First and 10 for
Yep.
37
at
yards,
the 19 when the play
no
resumes.
return, and now it's the Brahmas who will take over trailing it 13-3.
Long way to go here for Pierce.
Number 3, Quan Patterson.
So Quan Peterson
back at quarterback for the
returns. He took the first couple of drives. And in fact, I believe, if memory serves, Peterson was at the helm for the field goal drive.
Yes.
Cates on the sweep, past the 20, but he's cut down after a gain of about 3, maybe 4.
The grit shown there by Cates to extend the play, bounce it out to the sideline. Sometimes you've got to run about 20 yards laterally to get 4 yards moving forward, but
Khalil
still.
Jones with the stop. 2nd down and 6 coming up. 7:48 and counting remaining in the first half. A fast start, but now the defenses seem to be taking over.
I think a lot of times, you know, once you can watch as much film as possible, but once you see that look up front for the first time.
Peterson feeling the pressure, starts to roll, throws on the run, but it's wide of the mark, incomplete.
Pass was intended for number 12.
Back to my point, you know, we've seen the defenses step up a little bit here as the game has worn on, and you can watch as much film as you can in the offseason, but when they throw curveballs at you on the field, it takes a while to adjust, and as breaking the quarter and timeouts and halftime wears on, we'll see those adjustments, and both teams kind of got to throw counter punches there once the defenses are and offenses are figured out.
3rd and 6 from the 23 of the Brahmas.
I'd do a screen if I'm Pierce here, but we'll see.
4-man rush. The throw on the far side is complete. 1st down and more. Sherrod Joe with his first reception out to the 37-yard line. That'll move the chains.
We've called his name all night. First time for a catch. That's got to feel good. Your first of the season. First of his career in college, a freshman.
Yeah, he fit that one in a tight spot, Peterson did. A couple receivers, a couple corners in the same area, and thread the needle.
Great awareness shown by Sherrod Joe. Immediately turned it up the field to where the D-backs weren't. Went up about, good 5 yards after the catch. Those yards after the catch make all the difference in the world.
Peterson hit as he throws, looking deep for Graves, and it's incomplete. Good coverage.
Little disagreement on the
Kelly.
front line there.
That's going to bring up 2nd down.
So the 2nd down and 10.
Little pushing and shoving after the play.
You can tell if that was McCoy coming off the edge again. He has been able to get in the backfield
That was McCoy.
on a number of occasions.
Got a little bit of a grab of a face mask afterwards, but kind of canceled each other out.
And no harm, no foul.
He started it. No, he did.
2nd and 10. Cates back in the game in the backfield. Peterson again. Hit as he throws, goes short for the completion to Graves, a gain of just 2. 3rd down and 8, James Kelly on the stop.
Last few looks for Pierce, we've seen Cates wide open coming out as the safety valve sort of on a wheel route out of the backfield, turning upfield. Like to see them maybe try to go to him once, see how test his hands, see if he's ready to be a dual threat running back.
Well, that was exactly the scouting report that we got on Cates, is his ability to deliver in any number of ways in the return game, out of the backfield, certainly catching the football. Also an outstanding blocker, so he's a guy that they really feel like can do it all.
We've seen all that so far. He's definitely the one they trust. I don't think he's taken a play. Well, he's taken a few plays off, but he's been in for the majority.
Short throw for Peterson, complete. That's going to be close. Johnson with the reception. He's out to the 45, but he's a couple of yards shy of 1st down yardage.
Definitely did not get the home field spot there. I thought he got to at least the 46.
4th down and 2.
2 out of 3 so far, though, on those close spots.
And Peterson's still on the field. Is Woods going to roll the dice again on that Brahmas sideline on a 4th and 2?
Boy, everybody up on the sideline watching this one.
Well, this is going to be an entertaining brand of football.
Coach Woods with that aggressive NFL
timeout.
coaching style, and
Timeout taken by Pierce. That is their 2nd timeout taken here in the first half. 5:31 to go in the opening half. 13-3 Eagles on SoCalCollegeSports.com.
With just over Brahmas to go for it on 4th and 2.
4th and 2, and the Brahmas are going to go for it. They were successful on a 4th and 1.
High pressure situation here for the freshman. See if he can execute.
Oh, movement up front.
Someone jumped.
And the flags come in.
Before the snap.
Tavis Shippen. That defensive tackle spot. Now the only question is, was he drawn off?
That's going to be tough.
Boy, a lot of crucial penalties so far tonight, and just some of the worst situations to jump off sides.
Watching the replay here very quickly. And I didn't see a lot of movement on that Brahma offensive line there.
Only a slot receiver moved, but it looked like after he was down.
Might have been a dummy snap count there. Might have went on 2, and when the nose tackle thought he was going on 1.
Yeah. Hey, unfortunately, though, if that Brahma wouldn't have moved, they have a free play there. And, I mean, I know it was called dead, but Graves would have had a touchdown.
Fresh set of downs either way.
You got to notice there that the former receiver, the wide receiver, wanted the free play.
Of course he did.
Not an accident. Pass on the far side, incomplete.
Pass is incomplete.
Ryan wanted to see him take that one and run it all the way to Winnetka.
Yeah. Ryan Marty had the coverage on Wilson. And that's Marty, a linebacker out there on Wilson, and doing a pretty good job on coverage. Able to break that one up. A 2nd and 10 now from midfield.
Right on midfield here. Seeing that trip set again to the wide side of the field for Pierce, as we've seen the majority of the night.
Cates on the ground. Has a little seam. He's inside the 45 to the 43. Good hard running from David Cates, a 7-yard run.
Just a bulldog run there from Cates. He shed a couple tacklers and just kind of tried to barrel right into him.
For Pierce.
He says, I fall down when you say I fall down.
Big 3rd down coming up for the Brahmas, though. I imagine from what we've seen, it's hard not to think of this as 4-down territory, I imagine.
Yeah, for sure.
Looking at the 43-yard line of Mount San Jacinto.
Unless you lose a few yards here, they're going for it.
Yep.
They'll empty the backfield, overload the far side.
The wide open Cates being through behind.
Overthrows Cates in the flat. I'm not sure he was going to get there anyway.
Yeah, they left the backside end unblocked, and he just had a free shot at Peterson.
Khalil Jones was closing in quickly, so 4th down and 3 now from the Eagle 43-yard line. 4:47 to go in the first half.
Be very surprised to see the punt team right now, considering what we've seen, what history, the brief history of this season has shown.
Yeah.
4th down and 3 with the ball at the 43.
And indeed, the Brahmas line up to go for it.
That video game mentality, there is no punter.
Dual setbacks, now Wilson in motion. I should say Johnson in motion. Blitz coming, Peterson
Great
in
pickup
trouble, starting to move forward. He's still on his feet, he's brought down.
Once again, a good pickup by Cates, but front line allowed a little too much penetration there. Just no time for Peterson. Turnover on downs.
That's a great job by the Eagles guy. It's really blowing up that play right from the start. And Peterson was moving right from the beginning, nowhere to go. And as we talked about, Daniel eventually brought down short of the line. And now the Eagles take over with pretty solid field position. Well, successful on a couple of 4th downs, but here's the other side of it now of that risk as the Eagles, instead of playing field position here and maybe putting the Eagles back where they've got 90 yards to go here, now they get in pretty good field position at the 45.
Yeah, exactly. And Pearson made a couple of stops, so if the Eagles are able to score here, that's going to be demoralizing.
A bunch set for the Eagles on the outside.
Virgil on the roll again. They're
Virgil
giving chase, and he's just going to run.
That might be a flag.
He is definitely hit out of bounds.
Surprised we're not seeing a flag here.
So far,
Everyone
no
coming together on the
flag.
sideline. A lot of choice words, I'm sure, in that scrum.
Sterling Cooper was the Brahma that lowered the shoulder a couple yards out. But I think in Cooper's defense, he really had a head of steam going there.
He had all the momentum.
Maybe the determination there was he really just couldn't hold up.
Now, if this was an NCAA game, I'm almost sure we would have seen that flag, just based on consistency. But
Virgil took a hit on that. I
Sure
know
did.
you guys could see on the replay.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked a lot of both sides of the ball here, but I don't think there's any doubt here. This has been a physical football game in the first half.
yeah, we've had
Especially for the quarterbacks who've taken a number
we've had all
clean
3
hits.
quarterbacks that we've seen so far just take some clean shots.
Yeah, these defensive linemen and linebackers are getting their shots in. 2nd down and 10.
Whistle.
Jerron Ron Usher has checked in the game for Mount San Jacinto. And a timeout taken by Mount San Jacinto. That is their first charged timeout. 4:31 to go in the first half. Mount San Jacinto with a 13-3 lead on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Second down and 10 for the Eagles from their own 45-yard line.
After the Eagle timeouts.
3 wide receivers split to the left for Brett Virgil. Looking left, now back right, airs it out. He's looking for Loudon. Loudon's got the catch. He's going to score.
Was that offensive pass interference?
I don't think so. I think Dimitri King just reached out and tried to hold Loudon there. We'll wait and see what the call is. Loudon's got the touchdown.
Yeah, he knew he was beat, and that's all he could do, but it was not enough.
There was a shove, but it definitely looked like more of a grab from the Pierce DB.
Well, we wait for the call. Emery, did we get a replay of that at all?
Yeah, we'll have a better idea of what happened here.
End. Couldn't quite back that up just enough, but you see King had gone down there. It looked to me like Loudon maybe with a double move, and King
meanwhile,
bit and
we have someone down on the far end of the field here for Mount San Jacinto.
Making the score, Eagles 19, Brahmas 3, a 60-yard touchdown pass.
So it's 60 yards, Virgil to Loudon, and we do have a Mount San Jacinto player down on the field. They're helping him to his feet.
It's number 61.
Yeah, that is Kobe Henderson, an offensive lineman, and he is hobbling off under his own power, so that's a preliminary good sign.
That's great to see
for Kobe Henderson. But with 4:23 remaining in the first half, and I think, Ryan, the words were pressing it there. It was a considerable risk to go for it on 4th down, and you left the short field, and now it's all Eagles at this point. A lot of momentum, and Virgil's feeling it. He hooks up with Loudon for a 60-yard touchdown, and it's 19-3.
Yeah, but the good thing for Pierce, though, is there's 4 minutes and 23 seconds left on the clock, so they have plenty of time to drive down the field and put one in before
Absolutely.
half.
Yeah, if you're the Brahmas, I think getting any points on the board going into halftime at least pulls a little momentum back in your direction.
Kick is up.
Carbajal,
kick,
good
and
this time.
Good. So Carbajal puts it through. 20-3, 4:23 remaining in the first half, and Mount San Jacinto leads it by 17. Cates and Holloway back deep for the Brahmas.
See if they kick it to Holloway again. They have every time so far, and he's got a pretty sizable return each time.
Carbajal teeing it up. Virgil with a touchdown run, and now a touchdown pass here in the first half, leading this Eagle offense as they have a 20-3 lead.
Carbajal, the place kicker and the kickoff guy for Mount San Jacinto from Banning High School in Banning, California.
Short kick taken by the up back at the 28. Out to the 35.
That's number 21.
Brought down at the 37.
The ball up 2.
Kind of refreshing in a way to see these kickoffs that mean something in a world where NFL and even college we see mostly touchbacks and rules change to almost make them more possible. It's nice to see the kickoffs have such a bearing on the outcome so far.
7-yard line.
Cologne with the return out to the 37. So the Brahmas will take over with very good field position. Peterson back at the helm for the Brahmas.
Once again, that trip set on the right side of on the near side of the field here.
Peterson with a short throw.
Peterson's pass is
Incomplete, rather.
That'll bring up second down. Pass was intended for number 2.
He was looking for Ferguson.
So, Ryan, we've seen both Peterson and Saavedra in so far. What would you say is the main difference in each one's style?
Man, I mean, both of them have struggled. Both of them have missed passes downfield. I mean, I haven't seen much of an edge from either player up to this point.
Yeah, I'd have to agree.
You just got to find someone who can lead the offense and make the plays that you need to make.
Wilson in motion. Peterson steps up, has some time.
Sidearm throw.
Fires, looking for Joe, who can't come down with it.
Boy,
Continuing to battle Kelly
Joe's just
Coleman.
been snake bitten tonight, hasn't he?
And just after you asked me that, Martindale, Peterson comes out. He makes a great play. He put that ball where it needed to be. But you just got to haul that one in if you're the receiver. If you want to get to the next level, you need to be able to make those catches.
Completely. But no, I would say on both quarterbacks, I'd say Saavedra definitely gets the ball out faster. But I would say Peterson's probably just slightly quicker on his feet. You know, he's better at turning and avoiding hits.
Well, and let's remember, Saavedra had the year of experience in this offense, and Peterson now really just getting his first chance here. So you wonder if maybe Peterson.
Someone moved on the.
Free play.
It is a free play. It looks like Peterson.
And he's going to go for it.
Out.
And he got it.
There we go.
Sleeping catch made in between two defenders.
Well, you got your free
Ferguson
play,
with the
Ryan.
catch at the 23-yard line.
What a play by Malik Ferguson out of the state of Texas.
I think something that benefited the Brahmas there was the fact that half of the Mount San Jacinto defense sort of stopped seeing the flag.
But two guys didn't stop, and those were the guys really with bracket coverage on Ferguson.
Yes.
And Ferguson's still able to go up in between them and make that catch.
Makes the catch all the more impressive, if you ask me.
Incredible throw by Peterson that you saw on the replay. He gets bumped, and then right after he throws the ball, he gets leveled, but he still gets enough on it.
Ball at the 23. Quick
Little
pitch
toss.
to Casey.
Oh!
He's going to throw. He's got a man.
Oh.
Picked off.
My
Naranjo
goodness.
with the interception. What a great job by Naranjo.
Drive killer
there.
right there.
I think Naranjo saw that play the whole time, and he really baited Cates into that throw.
Yep.
We'll see if we have a replay.
He read that one. He crept in. Definitely want to see replay here.
Oh, yeah, he knew that was
Watch him
coming.
just bite down.
Yep.
He was running that route with him. He really was. I mean, he cut him off.
Got one more look at this one.
First and 10.
Thanks to Emery Johnson.
Yeah, great look, Emery.
At their own 5
See there, and Naranjo just steps in front.
Man, he had that phone number memorized, area code and everything.
That is the first turnover on either team.
Yeah, it was
Here in the first half.
the wide out was wide open on that one, but he throws to the slot, and the safety's able to come over and make the pick.
And it went from a great creative play call to nothing.
Virgil, double
Oh,
pump.
no.
Looking for Loudon
Great
over
grab.
the shoulder catch. Out past the 35. Perhaps a break there for the Brahmas, that throw took Loudon toward that near side, and he wasn't able to quite straighten himself out. Otherwise, that might have been about a 95-yarder.
No one was catching him if he can stay in on that.
Yeah, you could tell he tried to tiptoe a little bit and then realized it was worth giving up the fight. His momentum was taking him outside too much.
Loudon over 100 yards receiving now in the first half. With that catch, they're out to the 37-yard line.
And now we're talking if Mount San Jacinto can score on this drive, we're talking a big lead going into halftime, even if it's just a field goal.
And they do have time.
Plenty.
Virgil throws off the back foot, completes it to Phillips, but for a gain of just a couple, 2:58 and counting remaining in the first half.
We got a Brahma down.
We have an injured Brahma on the play.
He's up.
Eli Sloan L. coming off the field under his own power.
Eli Sloan L. slow to get up there, the offensive linebacker, freshman from Camden, New Jersey.
For the Eagles.
Second down and 8. Blitz coming. Virgil with a straight drop.
Oh, Virgil
Steps
just
up. Now
stepped
he's
right
got running
through.
room. He's out to the 50.
Hurdles a
Leaps
guy.
tackler.
Virgil has the
And
first
finally taken
down
out at the
in
46-yard line.
All the way down to the 30.
Our audience is going to get sick of hearing it, but it's that footwork again from Virgil, just doing every little thing, making extra plays happen. Kind of a Russell Wilson, Fred Tarkenton type, just finding a way when he's under pressure.
18-yard run takes it to the 45.
And like you said, Jeff, they're already on the Pierce side of the field. They have 2 timeouts at hand, if I'm correct, and they still have the clock stopping on first down, all that. So plenty of time for the Eagles.
They'll bunch the formation here, receivers left and right. Virgil looking right, dumps it in the flat and completes it to Loudon. Loudon's inside the 40 and brought
There's
down to
some
the
flags.
37. Late flags coming in.
On the play.
King with the stop.
Number 32, Dimitri King with the
It looks like it's going to be holding on the Eagles.
Yeah, that one might be coming back. Seeing how fast those flags got out and where they ended up, it was right by where that potential hold occurred.
Well, the Eagles have done very little to shoot themselves in the foot in this first half. That may be about the first that we've seen of it there, but that'll take a good-sized gain off the board.
Yeah, they've been in fourth gear all evening. I mean, they really haven't thrown it in reverse yet. That's one of the first few times they've given up yards via a undisciplined mistake like a penalty there.
Personal foul against Brahmas.
Ejection.
Really?
It's Jalen Burton. He said it was on number 1. And was that were they saying that was an illegal blow to the head? Was that
We might be getting a targeting call here.
Has been ejected.
Was not expecting that.
Ejected for spearing.
For spearing, that is one that first game of the season, we might not see that for the rest of the year.
On the tackle was the personal foul. It's a
So it's
15-yard penalty.
it's 15 yards on the personal foul, and I believe they said it's Jalen Burton, and you see him on the sideline, and
Wow.
he's down there pleading his case, and now they'll drag him away before he gets himself in more trouble.
Did not expect that.
Just when we thought Pierce was going to get a break, the penalty goes the other way, and now it's a 20-yard swing in field position.
Boy, visibly upset as he walks back toward what I assume would be toward the Brahmas locker room.
Well, it is, to your point, Daniel, it is not a call that we have seen very often.
No,
At all.
especially phrased as a spear.
Yeah.
Burton's very first game, memorable for all the wrong reasons, a freshman out of Lake Taylor High School in Norfolk, Virginia.
1:59 to go, and meanwhile, if you're the Brahma defense, you got to find a way to hold it together here. You're trailing 20-3, and that's bad enough. You don't want another 6 going on the board.
Well, even if it's just holding them to a field goal, you're talking a 3-possession game. If they get the touchdown, you're talking 4. You're talking being down by potentially 24 points going into the second half.
Yeah, and Burton's a big part of this defense, so not only do you get the 15-yard penalty helping him on this drive, but for the rest of the game, you're missing one of your linebackers.
Not to mention one of the larger players on that defense.
Virgil steps up, throws.
Oh, what a grab.
Phillips with a leaping catch
A great
for the
grab.
touchdown.
Eagles. 22
Phillips again.
pass for Mount Sanity.
And again, he gets off his feet and makes
Yep.
a tremendous catch.
Bit of an
Great
undersized
body
guy.
control.
You'd never know it for the hops he has.
Yeah.
Up the ladder.
And in traffic, and we'll see if we can get a replay look at this one.
Yeah, the confidence Virgil has thrown to these receivers. Phillips that's a tight window, but he trusts Phillips can go up the ladder, and he does again.
If we get that Phillips
Boy,
right
great
between
job.
coverage.
Looked that one all the way in. Never took his eyes off it, even though he knew he was most likely about to take a hit.
Injured Brahma on the plate. Timeout on the field.
So we have a timeout with an injured Brahma player down, but Mount San Jacinto pouring it on here in the first half. They now lead at 26-3 with the extra point pending.
If you weren't with us earlier in the broadcast, I mentioned last season how Pierce exploded with points in the second quarter on Mount San Jacinto here at Shepherd Stadium. This year, a little bit of the opposite, seeing the Eagles run away with it, sort of, so far. That
Now-
player injured was, Jeff, if you have a number on
26,
that.
Angel Martinez coming out of the game.
Well, yeah,
For the Brahmas.
Angel Martinez also hurt on the play. He's not the one the trainers are looking at, but he limped
Also
off.
coming out, number 39.
Insult, well, injury to insult there after that touchdown.
Bananas fields feet. Extra points right now coming up. Kick is up,
Extra point good again.
and the kick is good.
27-3 with 1:44 to go in the first half. All Mount San Jacinto, you're watching Pierce College Football on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Cates and Holloway back deep for the Brahmas.
Boy, Pierce could really use another big return right now. Give him a chance to get some points back before the half.
Cates from the 16, out to the 35. And he's dragged down just shy of the 40.
Pierce has got one timeout left, if I'm correct. They got a minute and a half. Not impossible here. I had the opportunity to attend Pierce's practice on Wednesday. They were actually working on this type of 2-minute drill. They were down. There's about a minute and a half left, and they had a timeout. So see if that practice, how much it pays off here.
They'll spot it at the 40, and now it's Saavedra back at the controls for Pierce, so they continue to shuttle in the quarterbacks between Peterson and Saavedra. Quick screen. Johnson slips a tackle at the line, but he picks up about 3 before he's wrapped up and brought down.
Situationally, that's not the play you want here with the clock running down. No first down, and you got to get to the sideline on a play like that. Got to stop the clock, especially with only one timeout that you want to save for that one last big play or possibly a field goal.
Brahmas in the hurry up. Sorry, Ryan.
Yeah, it just took a long time to spot the ball there. So
the throw on the far side, incomplete. Looking for Elliott.
Good job by both the receiver and the defensive back there, not making too much contact. Everyone had a fair shot.
Here comes Ferguson back in. Oh.
Yeah, well, no, Ferguson in and now coming out. Yeah.
In and out.
Christian Graves is a guy that they expect big things from, and he's had a very quiet first half, and I think a lot of that goes to Roderick Ward. Working over there on that near side as they work from right to left here.
Yeah, everything to Graves has been underneath.
Third down already here, guys.
3rd and 7. Saavedra in trouble. Rolling away from pressure on the run.
Good ball.
Airs it out looking for Wilson.
Once again, that would have been wiped off. We got
a flag in the backfield.
Where you might expect to see a hold.
We got another flag at the 40. I think that would be a defensive holding.
Might have some offsetting penalties here, Ryan.
Yeah, but doesn't help Pierce out a ton.
No, just means you get another free play. It means you just do it again. Well, we have a moment here while the referees discuss. We'll wait for the call.
Holding against the Brahmas. Holding.
Yep, offsetting holds.
Those penalties
we'll do it again.
We played it down.
All's fair. But Ryan, I was going to ask, I'm pretty sure the reason we're seeing Jonathan Saavedra back in this situation is because being the veteran quarterback of the two, he has the experience running that 2-minute offense, wouldn't you say?
Exactly. He's going to have a lot more composure in the pocket at this point, and when you need to air the ball out, of course, escapability comes into play, but you got to move the ball downfield through the air.
Absolutely.
Saavedra looking left, throws, completes the Graves into Eagle territory. He's tripped up at the 45, gets down to the 42.
Yeah, they're in Eagle territory with 50 seconds, plenty of time, really, if they can execute.
Yeah, unfortunately for Pierce, though, Graves, he could have gotten out of bounds, but he didn't.
They will stop the clock just long enough to move the chains.
Still
now
get
they'll
that
wind
stop.
it.
Enough time to call a play.
Saavedra, quick snap. Feeling the pressure, still dancing. Finds Cates. Cates with some running room. He's at the 35 and heads out of bounds at the 32.
Little Texas two-step from Saavedra. My goodness.
Great job by Saavedra. He knew he wasn't going anywhere if he fled the pocket. He looked back, found his back, and Cates was able to get up and get out of bounds after a solid game.
35 seconds for the Brahmas. Coach Wood still has that timeout in his back pocket.
Now they'll wind the clock, and the Brahmas taking some time getting to the line, guys. 27 seconds.
We might see that timeout now.
Why is the clock running when he ran out of bounds?
Yeah, a little confusion here, and now a flag. And now it might have been a personal foul against the coach, possibly unsportsmanlike. Based on the referee's reaction, body language, he had someone to give a talking to there.
That's the offensive coordinator down there who's getting the flag against him. But I thought that Case got out of bounds.
It was unsportsmanlike.
And once again,
boy,
Brahmas getting the short end of the
man,
stick.
the last thing you want as a player, you're doing your best, and a coach gets you moved back, but
fans don't like it here.
Well, you have to imagine that that's a magic word kind of situation.
Yes.
Where it's just the right thing you say, or the wrong thing, depending on how you look at it. And
Almost
that's
like in baseball. You can argue with that umpire as much as you want. You say that one word that might be 4 letters. Yeah, you might be gone.
Now they're going to reset the clock.
Clock will be reset to 36 seconds.
And after all that, they put the clock back where it arguably should have been if that confusion never happened.
So they'll put the football at the 47-yard line of Mount San Jacinto. And now we're ready to go with 35 seconds remaining. Saavedra with time.
Good ball.
Looking on
Just
the
over
near
his head.
side, incomplete, looking for Johnson.
Marcus Robinson. It's going to bring up second
Shearer.
and 25.
That's the coverage.
Third time they've run that backside switch, and all 3 times they've had a window to throw the outside route, the wheel, but haven't been able to connect. Saavedra has missed it twice, Peterson once. Almost a pick on Peterson's.
Yeah, definitely something the Pierce coaches from up here might notice and key on during halftime, I'd have to imagine. Talk about who's open, who's not getting thrown to.
Third down and forever for the Brahmas from the 47.
And
Saavedra
across the board.
rolls away, throws off the back
Got
foot,
it.
catch is made at the 30
He's in
by
bounds.
Kate.
Got
He's
out,
taken
got
out of bounds.
There's going to be a late hit on the quarterback, it looks like.
Yeah, down at near the 41-yard line of the Brahmas. There's a flag down, and that's exactly what you might see.
I mean,
That's a
that's
huge call.
The exact spot from where Saavedra made the throw, so I have to imagine.
Catch down to the 30-yard line.
That's a huge play for Pierce now. That's going to be more of a 35-yard gain.
Take a look at the replay here. We'll see if we can catch the tail end and see the hit. That comes. Oh, well, we're
You
just getting
definitely
away
saw
from that.
someone lunging in on him, might have got him low.
They were closing in. So that is a massive penalty. We have not seen many penalties against Mount San Jacinto in this first half, but that's a big one.
Yeah, especially under pressure like this, you know.
21.8 to go, so they convert the 3rd and 25, and they get 15 yards on the penalty. Takes it all the way down to the 15-yard line. What a turnaround for the Brahmas.
That's for sure. Finally a break, too, for Pierce. We haven't seen this all night. Usually they've been the one on the wrong side of these bad penalties. Massive, implications on some of these penalties, too. 15 yards at least.
And the Brahmas still have a timeout with 21.8 remaining in the first half, and now they've taken that. Well, who took the timeout?
Pretty sure it was the Eagles, but
Eagles took the timeout.
they had another one to burn. Oh, they have 2 to burn, and might have wanted to discuss defensive scheme, what Pierce might do in this situation.
Yeah, 21.8 seconds to go, and the Brahmas in the red zone for the second time tonight. They came up with 3 points earlier.
Yeah, with all the struggles Pierce has had, especially the pick on the last drive in the red zone, you think they need to score here. I mean,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
not only a field goal, they need to put one in the end zone.
They need a touchdown to feel like we can still do this. It's not, that difficult to get back. As long as we score now, we're in it. And plus, you get the confidence of scoring your first touchdown. They've only seen a field goal today. This is going to be one of those turning points that we look back on as a big difference maker, regardless of what happens.
Well, Marcus Johnson, number 18 in the slot on the near side, is a target they like to go to in the red zone. See where Saavedra goes on 1st and 10
Got
from
a lot
the
of
15.
options. Got him fanned out here.
Saavedra
Oh, no.
throws off the back foot
Oh!
into coverage.
It dropped.
A battle for the ball, and it's incomplete.
Yeah, that was...
Is that Wilson?
Be a tough one.
Yeah, Sherrod Joe, the intended target.
Down and 10 for the Brahmas.
Interesting they moved Joe over. It's been working. Well, Joe's been working on that right side a lot against Kelly Coleman.
I think they
Continues
move
to
him
battle.
wherever it works.
Yeah.
I think he's good on either side.
2nd down and 10. Of course, the time of more concern than the downs with 15.6 seconds remaining here in the first half. Again, Brahmas do have a timeout. Saavedra, good protection. Rolling,
Got a guy wide
still
open.
looking, throws into the end zone,
he got him.
leaping attempt.
Great catch.
Touchdown, Johnson.
Marcus.
Brahmas are on the board with their first touchdown of the day.
Touchdown for the Brahmas if the play
Well, there
stands.
is a flag down in the backfield.
That's
Let's
gonna
see
be-
what the call is.
It's going to be on the Eagles. It's got to be illegal
Yeah,
to hands to the face.
I'd imagine gets declined here.
Let's see, we got a replay here. And hard to see much.
Meanwhile, we have offensive lineman Jamal McDowell coming off the field with no helmet. but doesn't seem hurt, just seems kind of fired up. Maybe lost that helmet in a scrum.
Well, it's a terrific answer by the Brahmas. And it was all going against them, but in this last 90 seconds plus, they managed to
Nope.
go
Scratch
the
all
distance,
that.
but for naught. A holding call against the Brahmas, going to take the touchdown off the board.
Boy.
You know, guys, I think if you need a microcosm of that first half, that may be it.
That was the moment.
The call's going to be on Jamal McDowell there. I didn't see much. I mean, he rode the end to the ground. And
Well, whatever was going on there, that might explain why he did lose his helmet, why he was upset.
That's why I thought it was hands to the face, but that's a rough
Second
call
and 20
again
now.
for Pierce.
Jeez. Incredibly frustrating if you're a Brahma fan tonight. I mean, every time you think you have it, finally a little bit of a moment to celebrate about, and then just gets ripped right out of your hands, but they still have a chance. 7.4 to go, but a lot more space to cover to do it.
Maybe looking to Graves here. He can look off the safety, get a true one-on-one on the backside.
Graves on the near side. And now the Brahmas going to take their final timeout with 7.4 seconds to go in the first half. Mount San Jacinto leading at 27-3.
Second and 20.
7.4 to go. Time enough for one more play.
Yeah, guys, I'd imagine just one more if you're really going to get the full extension out of it. There to use that timeout as well. Let's go for broke here.
Four-man rush. Saavedra spins away. Still looking.
Oh, he's
He's
up.
wrapped up, and he's going to be sacked. And that'll do it for the first half.
Boy.
27-3 as the teams head for the locker room.
You talk about putting a stamp on a dominant half for Mount San Jacinto.
It was all Eagles, and the Brahmas didn't do themselves a lot of favors with a couple of opportunities that they did have, but I think you got to give the Eagles a lot of credit here. Really a stellar first half, and they will head to the locker room leading at 27-3.
Yeah, if you're Coach Woods, you cannot let your players turn on each other in the locker room. Going down big early like this, a lot of guys will point the finger, but you got to stick together, stay as a team, bounce back.
I think if I'm Coach Woods, the message is simple. If they can put that many points on us, why can't we put that many points on them in the second half? But plus, you know, they've seen each other now. They know what they're up against. They know what kind of athleticism they're up against, especially with Virgil and everything like that. So you make your adjustments. That's what halftime's for. Discipline's got to be that main concern, though, going into the dressing room.
We will rejoin you with a look at some halftime stats and get you ready for the second half here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. You're watching Pierce College Football. Mount San Jacinto heads to the second half with the big lead, 27-3, short kick. The Eagles will have it first from the 20, out to the 35, and stopped and brought down there. And that's where the Eagles will go to work.
Little extracurricular activity after the play there.
Holloway on the stop, Ellison on the return.
For the Eagles at the 36, a 17.
So we'll see what Coach Wood's defense can do early. See what adjustments he made during the half.
First and 10.
Yeah, absolutely essential to make some halftime adjustments after what Pierce was going through there, being down 24. We'll see how apparent they are early.
Brett Virgil off a very strong first half, a couple of touchdown passes, a touchdown run. And they'll start on the ground. And a good pickup out past the 40 to the 42-yard line. Wren with a 6-yard run.
Eagles slow to get up.
Was brought down by number 17, Eli Sloan L. That's going to make it second down and a long 4.
Well,
we don't have him on the
roster. It's a jersey change, so unsure.
Number 72 has been on the ground.
It was number 72,
times.
yeah.
Second down and 4. Dual setbacks in the backfield for Virgil.
And that's got to be a flag. 2 men in motion.
Yeah, that looked like illegal
Quick
motion.
Jet screen out to Phillips. Sidesteps one tackler and picks his way toward the first down marker, but there are flags down.
2 penalty flags on both sides of the field.
We're going to see some kind of illegal motion in all likelihood.
That was a good pickup there, Ryan.
Yeah, that should be pre-snap, so the second flag should not matter.
Penalty flags on the play.
But they already moved the down marker.
Yeah, right now it's a 3rd and 1, and I think the one thing we could say for sure off that first half is we can't really speculate too much on what call it might be. I mean, who knows what this is going to be.
Yeah,
the way this first half is going, it might be 2 personal foul calls on the Brahmas. So.
Yeah, hopefully there's no ejection from that.
I mean, we've seen some strangeness.
Yeah, but like I said, they've already moved the down marker, so it's going to be hard to spot the ball.
Illegal shift against Mount San Jacinto and holding against the Eagles as well. Both penalties against the Eagles.
Double whammy there.
Well, the Eagles didn't have many penalties in the first half, but they're getting a quick start in the second half.
One of the few stats they were behind on. They're trying to catch up. Might not be the stat you want to play catch up on, though.
Ball to 35.
So it'll be from the spot. They're going to call it, all right, 2nd and 11. Okay. So they'll back it up. And
Movement
everybody
there.
Crossing over there on that left side of that Brahma defensive front. But let's see if they were drawn off.
Was the same formation, it looked like, that the Eagles got the 2 penalties on the last play. This time it draws it on Pierce.
That's a 5-yard penalty, and that'll take the ball up to the 40-yard line, and that's going to make it 2nd down and 6.
Well, after all that, we're almost right back where we started.
Yep.
2nd and 6.
Still the same 2nd down, but the ball has moved several times.
And Phillips again in motion, and they'll screen it out once again. Has a little seam. He's into Brahma territory at the 40 and tripped up at the 37-yard line.
Yeah, with a better block there. He's going down the sideline almost untouched, but a little hesitant from the wide receiver, and it's going to be a good gain nonetheless.
Cologne finally with the stop. They'll spot it at the 38.
Yeah, Phillips picking up right where he left off. No huge plays yet tonight, but he's been there solid for first downs time and again.
Yeah, a couple of really, really impressive grabs in the first half. One of them for a touchdown.
They're going to send pressure here.
And again, Phillips in motion. Here they come. Virgil with time. Pop flies to far side. And Loudon's got the catch at the 5.
Man, reeled that one in. He saw that one all the way through.
And Loudon, who's having a monster opener here. Well over 100 yards on 4 catches. And that one down to the 5 as we get a look at the replay.
Yes, Javon Elliott has a pretty good beat on the ball here. He has a chance, but he gets turned around late. You can't think about picking that. You just got to go in there and look for the breakup.
Plus, sending Phillips in motion, it makes the defense's eyes go a little bit more in the backfield. Just a little bit of hesitation.
Loudon just running under that football like an outfielder.
No, he was gone.
Virgil on the keeper, tries to turn it back upfield. He'll gain about a yard. Down to the 4.
Yeah, there's a late flag. Something happened in that pile.
1 yard gain on the play.
Yeah, we're going back to that play. They run the option. I think Virgil, he kept it, but I think he should have pitched it out with all the success that the Eagles have had running outside. But he keeps it. He goes to the teeth of the defense, and he takes a look in himself.
Unsportsmanlike conduct
But
against the
they get a penalty.
That'll be a half the distance to the goal
Well,
line.
it's going to go from the 4 to the 2 after the unsportsmanlike conduct.
And it's now going to be second.
And, no excuse for those mistakes, guys. You're already down by several scores. Your back's up against the wall, close to giving up another one, and then you go half the distance to the goal on a penalty that did not need to happen. I'm sure that was discussed a lot at halftime, avoiding that.
Second and goal from the 2, ran in the deep eye. Virgil under center, play action, looking right, hit as he throws, but completes the pass for the touchdown. Finding C.J. Sullivan.
Yeah, a lot of crisscrossing there from the receivers, and they're able to rub one open.
Third touchdown pass tonight for Brett Virgil, and quite a start to his college career here at Mount San Jacinto. And he has been outstanding.
Absolutely. Seen a little bit of everything, including a pooch punt earlier in the game from Virgil.
On for the extra point. And, on paper, this looked as though one of those teams, similar records last year, in fact, the same record last year. And who would have thought that this would turn into such a one-sided affair? But the Eagles have really brought it here tonight. They now lead at 34-3.
Yeah, last season the Eagles averaged 25 points per game. They've already hit 34, so they've eclipsed that, trying to increase that average by the time that we get to this point next year. Already well on their way to doing that.
So they'll get set to kick off, and it's been an unfortunately busy night for Cates and Holloway, returning kicks for the Brahmas.
Holloway and Cates.
Yeah, it's fun to return kicks, but usually that means you just gave up some points, and there's a downside to that.
I guess 8 or 9 returns on the stat sheet is not a good stat for your kick returner.
Well, unless it's nine returns for touchdowns, but that we don't have yet.
Well, you start to see Cates and Holloway inching up a little bit. Kicks on both sides have been short. And they stand at about the 15.
You'd probably rather have your speedsters take it than the upman, and that might be what happens. Upman takes it.
From the 25 and out to about
That's
the
a
40.
late hit, and
here comes the flag.
Yeah,
A hit right.
Yeah, that field judge saw it right away.
Yeah, it looked like number 42, which, again, unfortunately appears to be a uniform change, but gets there just a little late, and this could be a break for the Brahmas here. If indeed it's a late hit, that would be 15 yards. It would take it all the way out to midfield. You have a look at this one on the replay.
At the end of the play.
And again, clearly down, and that's one of those ones that's, was it the most egregious? Perhaps not, but it's one that's going to draw a flag every time.
Well, it's the principle of it. When someone's knee's already down and the whistle's blowing, that's when everything stops.
Yep.
And you usually expect penalties like that from the team who's losing, not the team that's up 34-3.
Yeah, good point, Ryan. Mount San Jacinto was second in their conference in penalties overall last season, though. So, regardless of all the new faces on the team, still quite perhaps an issue.
Well, that's something funny that as we do our research for matchups throughout previous seasons, that's something you see quite routinely is the teams that have the most penalties are often the teams that are also at the top of the standings at this particular level, which is counterintuitive to football as it's usually presented, but it is often the case.
Well, I guess if your offense can get those yards back, then I guess you're all right.
Johnson in motion. They'll keep it on the ground. And first down yardage and more down to the 30-yard line.
They're going to take advantage of the good field position given to them by the short kick and then the penalty tacked on, and they get right to it. They're already inside the 30.
Ben Broadwell with a 16-yard run on his first carry.
Great run by Broadwell, too. Just, taking his time, following his blockers, not trying to force anything that wasn't there, just letting the play come to him. Saw the field really well on that one.
Eagles showing blitz with Johnson in motion. They quickly pitch it to Johnson, who loses the handle, tries to fall on it. It's still down.
That should be incomplete. It was a forward pass.
Yeah, it looked like a shovel pass.
Looked like he shoveled it and then he lost it.
And that's the benefit of doing that as opposed to handing the ball off, because if you drop it, no harm done.
Or even doing like a little screen pass in the backfield and someone drops it, all of a sudden pick it up off to the races. That's a live ball.
Incomplete pass that's going to make it
second down and 10 after the incompletion to Johnson.
Second down and
Saavedra
10
at the controls. We've seen both Quan Peterson and Saavedra tonight. Four-man rush. Saavedra under pressure, and he's going to be sacked all the way back at the 44-yard line. A 15-yard loss on the play. Well, they'll call it 11 yards. They'll spot it at the 40. But nonetheless, a big loss and a third and very long coming up.
Crushing blow for the Brahmas there. Saavedra that close. I mean, a fingernail away from getting that ball out. But then again, if you're getting hit while you throw, that's a chance at interception as well. But just had to eat the sack there.
Yeah, if Pierce can pick up any yards here, expect them to go for it. I mean, down 34-3, you got to do something positive.
You think they start going for broke at this point, Ryan?
I think you might as well. You want to get these kids film.
3rd and 18. Saavedra with good protection, fires it down the far sideline and completes it to Graves.
Boy, great job to hang in there.
The referee tossed his hat off. I think they may get Graves for going out of bounds and being the first one to touch it.
And they are pointing as we still have that shot up. And
he might be ineligible if he went out of bounds.
yeah, we'll take a look at it. Watch Graves at the top of your screen, and we'll see if we have it on
They're
the
going to say he was forced out.
And I think
so
that's
it's
a good
going to be
call.
a completion, yeah.
Yeah, if you are forced out, you're allowed to come back in.
How about Saavedra squeezing it into a very tight window there to get it to Graves? Ward had good coverage.
Yeah, it was a good ball. He's got to have that as Pierce attempts this really tough comeback.
From the 10. They keep it on the ground, going nowhere. I'll tell you, the Eagle defense has been very solid against the run here tonight.
Yeah, and the Eagles had 12 men on the field. They were running one off late. If Saavedra could have got that snap off earlier, it's a free 5 yards.
Vicious tackle, by the way, there. Didn't quite get the number, but multiple D linemen.
Yeah, Franklin Shearer also coming up from his safety spot and was right in the middle of that as well. A loss of a yard on the play. And a second down and 11 coming up. Well, second and goal from the 11. They'll spread it out. Brahmas still looking for their first touchdown here in 2018. Blitz coming. Saavedra wheels away. Going to tuck it and run. He's at the 5.
He might have it.
For the pylon. Touchdown.
Great job by Saavedra. And for Pierce, there are finally no flags on the field. We have an Eagle down.
You almost don't want to say something if you're a Brahma fan
Absolutely.
at this point. But it does look like this one's going to stick.
Great little spin move there by Saavedra to buy himself some space, just take it all the way himself.
We got the replay one more time, and there's the awareness you're talking about there, Daniel. Gets a good little block there right at the end.
Great effort by, is that Marcus Johnson?
I think it was Johnson who might have just sprung him for that last yard or two to get him in there.
Well, as the old adage goes, sometimes if you want to do something right, you do it yourself, and he didn't really see any viable options, just took it to the house.
34-9, and they'll take a look at the injured Eagle player, and we'll step aside. You're watching Pierce College Football on SoCalCollegeSports.com.
Number 40, Eric Castro.
Castro will try the extra point.
German to hold.
And that one slips away. Castro picks it up. Still on his feet, but he's brought down.
The extra point try is no
So the
good.
score remains 34-9 with 9:10 remaining in the third.
34.
Just can't get that perfect 7 points if you're Pierce, but still went down there and got the 6. Normally in that situation on a PAT or a field goal attempt, you'll get a botch snap and maybe the holder will be able to pick it up. You get something called a fire call, which means you'll send your two ends out to, to try to run a route, maybe catch a pass, and hopefully get some kind of yardage or points out of it. Not in that situation. Kicker picked it up. No man's land.
So the Eagles will go back to work. Still leading it 34-9 as the teams trade touchdowns here early in the third quarter. Ellison back deep. And there's a look at Johnny Saavedra on the sideline. The 11-yard touchdown run. But still a long way to go for the Brahmas, who trail it by 25. Taken at the 20.
Taken at the 20-yard line.
Out to the 35, and now a little running room out near the 45-yard line. Samaj Ren on the return.
For the Eagles.
My rule of thumb is anytime you can get a kick return that's longer than kicking it out of bounds would have been, anytime you can get it past the 40, that's a very successful return.
Yeah, once again, starting in great field position, and the Pierce defense doesn't need to be backed up once again, but here we are.
And they're probably getting a little sick of it at this point.
46-yard line is where the Eagles will go to work, and here comes Virgil and that San Jacinto offense, and Virgil will go to work with Wren at his side in the backfield. They'll go to Wren, sweeping to the right, out to the 50, and he is stood up there. Maybe got to the 49, about a 5-yard gain.
Into Brahma territory at the 49-yard line. Goes the
Ryan, would you say because of the lead that the Eagles have and being up by as many points as they are, up by 25, do you think we'll see them running the ball more to kind of eat up some clock, or you think they're just going to keep with their rhythm?
Oh, of course. I mean, you don't want Virgil to take many hits, so I think they're going to keep it on the ground. I know we're still we got a ton of time on the clock, but I mean, nothing worse than winning a game 30-something to 9, but you lose your quarterback.
Absolutely.
Virgil with a quick throw, and it's dropped, looking for Loudon, and that's about the first thing that's gone wrong for Loudon tonight. And
Yeah, no kidding. But to your point, Ryan, also, you don't want the chance of throwing the ball deep when you don't have to and throwing a pick. All of a sudden, Pierce runs it back. They're back in the game. If they were to score now, they'd be down by 18. Still pretty manageable. So I think the safer bet is just run.
Yeah, exactly. Don't want to give them anything that they don't earn.
well, I think the one thing that you could take away if you're on that Eagle sideline is that Brett Virgil can be counted on to make good decisions.
Yeah, a lot of poise being shown for his just first game in college.
Another quick throw, and again it's dropped. Back-to-back drops for Loudon, and that's going to get the Brahma defense off the field. Quick 3 and out.
So they try to build Loudon's confidence by going right back to him, but you got to hang on to those.
He's probably still thinking about that last drop.
Yeah, that's a good way to find yourself on the sideline.
And he can catch the ball 35 or 40 yards downfield and seems to have the blind spot at 5 yards downfield. Meanwhile, on 4th and 5, they're going to line up to go for it.
Yeah, I'm expecting it. No.
Virgil's going to keep it, and he's got the first down.
Wow.
What a roll of the dice for Casey Mazzota.
I'll tell you what, that's inexcusable for Pierce, though. 4th down chance. I mean, you're seeing that the quarterback is all by himself. You got to send more pressure than that.
Yeah, the Eagles go empty and, draw everyone out, all the defenders out to the sidelines. You got 5 receivers. That leaves the middle open a lot. Virgil sees it, and he straight downhill for the first down.
What do you think the chances are that that's a call that they would let Virgil make
in
that situation based on what he sees? Because he is the one who did the pooch punt before.
Yeah, and he came up and he checked with the line there. So that was definitely something he called. I don't know what they had called prior to that, but.
Well, they roll the dice. A little stutter step for Wren. and he'll get back to the line.
Yeah, and I'd say, judging by the confidence we've seen that Virgil's been showing so far, to your point, Jeff, that wouldn't surprise me whatsoever if they, leave that decision up to him, because he might get up there and they say take what the defense gives you, and if judging on a certain situation, he probably has some kind of audible or code word, and he can call it. I'm sure there's a pooch punt in there. I'm sure there's a draw play. There's call a timeout if nothing's there. There's a lot of stuff. So a lot of control given to Virgil.
That is a heck of a compliment for a freshman quarterback, if that's the case. Obviously, we can only speculate up here. 2 receivers to the near side on 2nd and 10. Virgil against the blitz, screens it out to Phillips, but he is hit and dropped. A loss of about a yard on the play. Yuri Krasnowski quickly on top of that play.
Yeah, that was a pretty good play call against the blitz, but better recognition by Pierce picking that up, not coming at the quarterback. They flocked right to the back running the screen, and it's going to be a loss.
Yeah, word you hear a lot from coaching staffs during a practice for defense especially is keep contain, outside contain. Even if you want to jump at the quarterback going up the middle, you got to make sure no one breaks to the outside, and Pierce did a great job of holding that despite all the difficulties they've had this evening.
Well, one thing the Eagles are certainly accomplishing with this drive is eating some clock. We're down to about 5 minutes left in the third as that pass sails incomplete. Now a very late flag comes in.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. It was definitely overthrown. A little mix-up between Virgil and the receiver.
Yeah, Williams
Virgil
on the coverage. Sorry about that, Ryan.
Yeah, Virgil is thinking he's running a fade, but he stops and comes for a comeback.
Yeah,
it looks like the refs are going to probably wave this off.
Yeah, I was going to say, something must have happened that we missed, or...
Let's see it again.
Catch the
tail
tail
the comeback
here.
And, overthrown.
Bit of a Bronx cheer from the Pierce faithful here after a flag is picked up tonight, considering the track record of the penalties being called.
Carlos Woods on the sideline calling for that ball to be declared uncatchable. Didn't look like a whole lot of contact, but maybe a little something on the break. But the flag came pretty late. Meanwhile, it's 4th and 11, and the Eagles will line up to go for it. Empty backfield. This time we'll see the pooch punt, and Virgil with a little too much on this one sends it into the end zone for a touchback. 5:05 to go in the third quarter, 34-9, Mount San Jacinto. Brahmas take over at their 20-yard line after the touchback on the punt from Virgil. Saavedra still at the controls. Cates up the middle. Nearly pulled out of there. Got about 9 yards before he was finally dragged down. Shoestring tackle, maybe saving about 20 yards.
Cates has definitely proved how reliable he is tonight, but I would say when you have a quarter and a half to get 25 points back, you better be careful on how much you're running, because that does eat up a lot of time. You don't want, when you're down that much, you don't want to be the one eating up clock.
Yeah, down to about 5.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. 2nd and short. Play action. Saavedra rolling right, tipped and incomplete. Looking for Joe again.
Yeah, Joe was wide open there. That tip changed everything.
So now a 3rd and 1. You get a look at Malik Ferguson, and he delivered one of the few Brahma highlights in that first half with a sensational catch in double coverage that set the Brahmas up very deep in Eagle territory on a drive that ultimately ended on an interception on a throw by Cates a couple of plays later. 3rd and 1. Short throw, catch is made, 1st down. Went back to Johnson.
Yeah, the rub route to Johnson. Graves did a good job setting a pick, but the rub route opens Johnson up for an easy 1st down. All Saavedra had to do was put it on the numbers.
I still think if you're Pierce, you don't want to tempt fate too much, but you got to try to pass a little deeper here. A lot of points to get back. I think just 10 yards at a time is going to really get you there.
The give on the right side and a pickup of about 3. Doma Morris getting the call. They'll give him 4 yards, 2nd and 6.
Yeah, you're right, Daniel. They need an explosive play for Pierce here.
I think now you got to go for broke.
Yeah, I mean, look to Christian Graves, 6'2". Yeah, he's got the cornerbacks beat in a height matchup, but you got other receivers who have been helping all night.
We really haven't seen a Hail Mary type play or even a deep post or corner from Pierce yet.
Saavedra looking left, throws over the middle, off the hands of his intended target, Graves. Ward had the coverage, but the ball was there.
Well, they heard you, Ryan. They went to Graves.
There's the post, Daniel, to Graves, but he can't hang on. You can't be doing that. Can't be dropping balls if you wanna climb back into this game.
Well, judging by the looks of that, we might have accidentally got on the offensive coordinator's frequency there. They listen to each of us, but that's what you have to go for down this much this late.
Javon Elliott checking back into the game for Pierce as they face a big 3rd and 6 from their own 38.
No one over the near side slot.
Eagles come on the blitz. Saavedra rolling away from pressure, throws on the run, looking deep, and it's incomplete. Elliott wants a flag, but no flag coming, and 4th down coming up.
Yeah, Elliott was more concerned about drawing the flag there than actually catching the ball, and I mean, it was definitely a catchable ball. There was contact, but I mean, you can't.
We got the replay here.
He slows down, and
Yeah,
he goes up one-handed for it.
He was looking behind him a little bit too.
I think that's one of those plays where you see a little bit of elbows in there and stuff, but I think a pretty good no call, I think, on that one.
If I'm not mistaken, I don't know if we've seen many pass interference calls tonight. There's been a lot of stuff that's just been kind of even amount of contact or no contact.
No, it's a terrific point. We really haven't seen that call very often at all. Short punt, but it takes a good kick for the
And
Brahmas.
here's a chance
Now
for
some
Pierce.
trouble. The ball's on the ground, and it looks like the Brahmas have it.
And this might be the break that the Brahmas needed.
Alonzo Bell with a little trouble handling that punt, and the Brahmas have their first turnover, and they'll have it at the 35-yard line of Mount San Jacinto.
Suddenly that punt becomes like a long pass.
Saavedra goes right back to work in Eagle territory. And the Brahmas start to tighten this up a little bit. It's Quan Peterson on at quarterback, and he gives ahead to Broadwell for a gain of about 3.
Got Peterson back in again. If for nothing else, giving Saavedra a break.
Well, from a receiver standpoint, did it ever make a difference to you playing? If you saw more than one quarterback in a game, was there something that maybe you could pick up if you got a little bit of a rhythm with one guy? Or
Yeah, I mean, it's always nice to have, the cohesion of playing with one quarterback, one set of receivers, but you got to put in whoever's going to give you the best chance.
Broadwell back in the backfield, 2nd down and 7. Peterson guns it over the middle, nearly intercepted, but instead it's caught by Graves in traffic.
Very risky throw by Peterson, right? A slant right in the middle of traffic there, but you got to make that play. You have to guarantee you get some yards and push the envelope a little bit when you're down this much.
Yeah, Graves able to make the grab, but he comes up about a yard shy of the 1st down marker, so a 3rd and 1 coming up.
2 down territory here, though.
Already up to the 26-yard line, so.
Broadwell remains in the backfield with Peterson. 3 wide receivers split out to the left. Now they'll empty the backfield. Peterson looking for Broadwell. Tries to spin away from a tackler, and it looks like he does for a pickup of a couple before Coleman brings him down.
Just a wonderful second effort by Broadwell there. That last little spin, he extended it when his feet were coming down to the ground. He extended it just a little bit more to grab those extra yards.
Take a look at the replay here.
Coleman diagnoses this play immediately. I don't know how he didn't pick this. He is a little hesitant. And
yeah, he kind of got caught in the train tracks there. He didn't know which way to go.
Dropped him in the backfield, but fortunate for Pierce, they get the 1st down.
That's just Broadwell against Coleman, and Broadwell does enough. 2 yards for the 1st down. Broadwell sweeping to the right at the 25. runs over Naranjo, who finally is able to bring him down after a gain of about 8 yards.
Running with a purpose there.
That's a big-time collision there, Broadwell and Naranjo, and I think a good job by both guys. They're good hard running by Broadwell, but Naranjo able to bring him down.
Broadwell went to North Point High School and from not too far away in Northridge, California.
9 yards brings up second down and 135 and counting remaining in the third. Peterson, good protection, steps up, fires into the end zone.
No flag.
That's
Sure was
incomplete.
close.
They're gonna, yeah. If your feet get tangled, a lot of times they will not call that.
He was looking for Sherrod Joe again, and the coverage was very good.
With all the penalties we've seen tonight, this is going to sound strange, but there actually has been a lot of good no calls by the referees tonight, I would say, especially on passes that could be interference.
Third and a long 1 for the Brahmas. Peterson looks over the Eagle defense. Has the snap. Short throw, completes it for a first down. Joe bouncing off tacklers in for the touchdown. And let me correct that very quickly, it was Marcus Johnson in the slot who makes the catch, bounces off a tackler and takes it in.
All of a sudden, this score, it's doable for the Brahmas if they can put together a few more drives like this. Great grit and second effort showing they took advantage of that opportunity to get the ball back. This time they didn't fail. They scored.
Johnson had one taken off the board in the first half, but this time he gets in and it's going to count.
Yeah, great play call there, though. They play action and they fire the ball right where the backers vacate. It's easy pitch and catch and makes a move and scores a touchdown.
Now they'll line up to go for 2 here, trailing at 34-15. Direct snap to Cates. Cates running left, tries to cut it back. He's hit and dropped.
Not quite sure where they're going with that play. Didn't really have a block on that left side.
Yeah, Cates was hit at about the 5 and just couldn't overcome it. Comes up short. 34-15 the score. The Brahmas starting to cut into this deficit, but they still trail it by 19, 1:17 to go here in the third. Brahmas trying to make a comeback here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Goes on the return, out past the 40.
And another
Late
late
flag
hit,
again.
helmet to helmet.
Could have been several things there, but yeah, I might have to go with you there, Ryan.
Going to be against Pierce, of course.
Samaj Wren with another good return. And perhaps some yardage going to be tacked on here. And I didn't think we were going to say this necessarily in the second half, but maybe a drive here with the Eagles could use some points.
Yes. Anytime someone's trying to mount a comeback on you, you want to say, all right, you talk about unanswered points. You want to get that answer. You want to make that deficit back to what it was, and then just hold on.
And that tacks on 15 yards to the end of the kickoff return. That's going to put the ball deep in Pierce territory at the 39-yard
So the 15-yard penalty takes it down to the Pierce 39. And a short field, and the Brahma defense going to have to come up with something big here.
Guys, this has to be some of the most 15-yard personal fouls I've seen in one game in a long time.
Corey Maddox in the game in the backfield with Wren. So dual setbacks, flanking Virgil. Low snap, but Virgil's got it. Completes the pass inside the 30, finding Jerron Usher. Usher's first catch tonight. Pickup of 9.
Well, kind of like what you just mentioned, Jeff, just looking down at the way the Eagles are getting back to the huddle, like kind of a little bit more of a sense of urgency. All right, guys, we want to bend but don't break here. Hit a little bit of a hiccup. We want to get back into this one.
Second down and short, under a minute to go in the third. Maddox in motion. Virgil pumps, now throws. Loudon's open, got it, touchdown. A double move for Michael Loudon, and we'll see if we can get a replay queued up here, but Loudon's second touchdown catch tonight.
And Virgil throws this off his back foot. A lot of times if you're doing that, you're either going to sail the ball or you're going to underthrow it. But here, he puts that one perfectly. I mean, wide open receiver, but couldn't have been any easier.
Yeah,
it's been the Michael Loudon show tonight.
Leaning back and get a couple looks at that one. And, you know, I don't know if there's a thought there that they got a little help over the top, but Loudon really just runs right into the clear. I'm not even sure it was a double move. But either way, it goes for 7.
Eagles were going for 2 there and didn't get it.
Okay, 40-15. Thank you for that correction there. So they go for 2, unsuccessful, but the lead back out to 25 with 32 seconds remaining here in the third quarter.
Well, just what we touched on a few minutes ago, you know, when a team's trying to mount a comeback on you, you want to get back to that, you know, highest point of a lead you had. So they're back to that 25 now as we get closer to the fourth quarter. They just want to get in that position where they can relax, run the ball, not feel like they're got the Brahmas breathing down their neck.
And Holloway dropping back deep on the kickoff.
Chase and Holloway back deep.
I feel like we've heard that one before.
Yep. That's been a common thing. I am acutely aware of who the kick returners are for LA Pierce. Unfortunately, here tonight.
We may never
Pierce
forget.
Fans. Yeah. So Victor Carbajal will tee it up, and the Brahmas have to quickly get back to work. End over end kick, and Holloway from the 11. Out to the 25, tries to bounce it outside. He's at the 35, cuts it back at the 40, still on his feet at midfield. Holloway down the near side, 15, 10, 5, touchdown.
Well, now we're really going to remember his name. What a return!
How about Holloway? That's a sensational individual effort as well. I mean, no doubt some good blocks, but bouncing it outside and able to just make a couple of moves and then outrun everybody on that near sideline.
Yeah, what a return. But I'll tell you, on that one, Pierce got away with a holding call. It's pretty blatant by Dimitri King. He turned the kick coverage man around right as the ball went by, but Pierce finally gets a call going in their favor.
Well, I was going to say, I think if you talk to some Pierce fans, and that was a long time coming, that call going in their favor.
Darren Holloway goes 88 yards, and now the Brahmas will line up to go for 2.
This is successful, guys. We're talking 17-point game.
It looks like some confusion for the Eagles right now. And
boy, there sure was.
Yeah. Malik Ferguson ran on late, and no one on the Eagles picked him up. He was standing over there wide open. Fortunately for the Eagles, they called a timeout.
I think if you're Quan Peterson, you got to notice that quicker next time you're in that situation and get that ball snapped. You got a guy wide open on your left side. That's going for pay dirt if that ball gets snapped.
And the man of the moment on that Brahma bench, Darren Holloway, 88 yards on the kick return. But the Brahmas still with some work to do here. 17.5 to go in the third. An eventful third quarter has seen the Brahmas put 3 scores on the board, but have only just slightly been able to cut into this deficit. The Eagles have done a great job responding with a couple of touchdowns of their own.
I've seen about 5 different secret handshakes so far with Holloway down on the bench. It's always a good feeling when you get that admiration from your teammates and coaches.
Well, you talked about that we don't see as many kick returns in the in the D1 and in the pros. And
Right.
hey, maybe they're missing something here. It's been a pretty exciting play tonight.
I would say so. I mean, nowadays in the NFL, of course, there's the safety issue and everything, but there's so many kicks we see just go into the end zone for a touchback. Man, we've had a lot more fun without that.
Looking right, throwing right, and it's incomplete. So another failed two-point conversion. And it will remain 40-21, 17.5 seconds to go. Here in the third, you're watching Pierce College Football on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Ellison on the return, out past the 30, weaves his way forward all the way out to the 40-yard line. Good return.
And another late flag.
That wasn't a little push, not even a shove. Here, we'll get the replay on this. But, geez. Every time Pierce gets a break.
Yeah, we saw a guy get knocked down from the back. It wasn't very noticeable, but enough to draw that flag.
And with the ball already at the 41, this is going to be a significant penalty. It's going to take it all the way into Brahma territory. And the number in terms of penalty yards really has to be up there. As Daniels, you were talking about so many 15-yarders. I mean, we have to be talking about 150-plus. Penalty yards tonight. I think the Brahmas, I think that's a conservative estimate at this point.
At the least, and it just seems like we've seen this movie before, where even just after kickoffs, all of a sudden the Eagles just have great field position from the very first possession of the game tonight.
And this is a guy that you can't give a lot of great field position to.
Because he'll do that.
Virgil completes it back to Loudon, who's probably rapidly approaching 200 yards receiving now. Went over 100 in the first half.
12-yard gain on the play.
12 yards there, takes it down to the 33. And also takes us to the end of the third quarter. We'll come back with the fourth quarter. It's Pierce College Football on SoCalCollegeSports.com.